these cross-region matches, because they would not have a lot of opportunities to practice with each other, or even to have to compete against each other. So this first matchup, this entire top 8, they all are very interesting matchups, and today is without any difference as well.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it's diverse, right? In the sense of just like going into this one, who really is the best region? We're gonna have to find out. I think that Brazil, they have 2 squads in this one, and also Malaysia, they have two crazy strong teams with their shortest game of like LGD's was like 7 minutes and. Something 7 minutes 40 seconds, something like that. It was actually crazy where they just completely dominated. But the thing is that they didn't get a whole lot of reps.
Yep, exactly.
Right? Yeah, they might be playing on on the practice side, and they're probably doing it completely outside of this tournament. But they haven't shown much in this tournament yet. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Zero?
It's a good thing for themselves because they don't have to show too much of their strategy. Obviously, every team coming into this tournament will have already put in their work beforehand. And you don't really want to overdo things. It is a very common thing where you try and practice again and again, and when the day comes where you need to perform, then you just get burnt out, or you don't feel at your best. So teams have to balance getting the practice in and getting enough rest as well. And having to play less in the groups also means that you have to show less of your strategy. So I think in this situation, Team Secret being the more unknown team for a lot of their opponents, and now they show less of their strategy, that's going to be good for Team Secret.
Yeah, okay. You talk about them playing less or whatever, but I'm pretty sure these guys are still playing their ranked games.
Absolutely.
It's not an issue. I mean, these guys are absolute monsters, and they've invested so many hours and time. It's just a matter of the strategy and just kind of going into the game and playing to that level, that high-tier level that we've kind of seen throughout this tournament. And I'm expecting to see even more of that because, again, both of these squads are very, very strong. I think that, Team Vitality came in second place, and you're kind of like, there's some question marks now. But that might have opened some doors. Is Team Secret now, are they able to just find some of those gaps and figure out how to take them out? Again, it's going to be super interesting. I think this first matchup is going to have a lot of fireworks.
Yeah, absolutely. The hero pools are very diverse as well across both these teams. They've been able to showcase mastery on different sort of compositions and even different sort of play styles. So having this as an opening match, it is anybody's game. I feel like it could go all the way to game 5. So definitely looking forward for this match to start.
Okay, now going into this first one, Team Secret, Team Vitality, do you have a favorite?
Well, I mean, you're asking a Malaysian if he has a.
I know. I just want to know. Let's call it out. Let's clear the air, so to speak. Zero. I mean, is it going to be Team Secret?
Yeah, it's going to be Team Secret. I've been following Long and TNX ever since their start in their competitive careers. So it's great to see them, making it this far in a very reputable organization and now playing in one of the biggest tournaments of their lives. I really want them to do well. And of course, for the all the Malaysian fans watching out there, they would want someone to cheer in the finals.
Yeah, and it's going to be super interesting, right? I think it's great to have. I mean, I wish I had a local team or a team that I can get can kind of cheer for. I kind of am neutral throughout. That said, I think that Impunity Squad from Myanmar had kind of like earned my heart, so to speak. I think they played really well in the group stage, so it's going to be super interesting in that second matchup. But again, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I think Team Vitality is the team to look out for. I think that this is going to be probably the one that goes the distance, I would say.
Yeah.
Like in a best of 5, we're probably going to see at least 4 or 5 games, right?
Yep, I think so. Definitely. These two teams, it feels like, at least on paper, they haven't faced against each other on any official matches before. But from what I've seen in their performance, they definitely look like they are very evenly matched. So it's going to come down to decisions made on the fly, their drafts, their strategies, the plays they make in the game itself to decide who the victor is.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting seeing what they do. But again, you look at, Team Vitality is going to do the VOD replays of all of the games that Team Secret have. And it's just like them dominating, them having 100% win rate with all their drafts. You're kind of like, okay, who do we ban out? How do we play against this team? This team is just like on fire, right?
Yep, absolutely. They are. I mean, there are some obvious ones, especially if you have less practice reps against that composition. As Team Secret has put out the Fuzi and Dachao combination twice in the group stages already, and those games, Team Secret had absolutely answers to everything that their opponents could bring up. So we might see the Dachao just being banned out against Team Secret, because they've been the ones that has been really utilizing that strategy to the best. And especially if you don't have a lot of practice against that composition, that's something you definitely want to look out for. But this will be the first contender, the homeboys from Malaysia. It is going to be Team Secret, and yeah, one of the youngest rosters in this entire tournament. Plenty of experience internationally as well, representing Malaysia in international tournaments for Long and TNX. So they definitely have that international exposure.
Yeah, I mean, good looking squad. I mean, they're coming in, they're ready to kind of just make their name known. They're walking out here, doing it in style. They understand how much pressure is at stake. Starting off the knockout stage in front of your home crowd, getting that level of, hey, can we get to that, can we take this team out? Team Vitality is going to be a formidable foe. I would say, not to say that it would be a disaster if they lost, but it would definitely be heartbreaking. But we're going to go into the next one, and this is, of course, it's going to be from Western Europe. It's going to be Team Vitality. We see Nighty here. We see Shanks. We see Highland, a great mid laner. He making a lot of plays. Yash on the farm lane, as well as CT Boy, who's been the roamer, right? And Benji, of course. We saw him sign his name. He had a bit of a star, and he's been making plays like a star. So Team Vitality, this is going to be a super interesting one.
Absolutely do. Of course, Blam, another one of our casters, a favorite team as well. He's rooting for them. Obviously, he's biased in his selection, but hey, everybody is looking for someone they're rooting for, and you can't go wrong with one of these teams from the top 8, because honestly, it's very close at the top between all of these teams, and it's going to be interesting to see what makes the difference between the champions and the losers.
Okay. Whoa, losers coming out strong with that one. But jokes aside, Zero. Okay, you're probably your favorite in this race, so to speak, is going to be Secret, obviously. But in terms of prediction, what do you think it's going to be in terms of games, right?
Yeah, I think this is going game at least, like you said earlier. I definitely agree. It's going at least 4 games. We might see a 5th if we're lucky, and then we get to see a lot more diverse compositions. But who opens up the series with a win? That's a lot harder to tell. We have to see, what sort of draft they come into play. Is the Dachao going to get taken out there from the Vitality? Is Vitality able to play their cookie cutter strategy, or does Team Secret have an answer to that? That's all going to be questions that needs answers during the draft phase.
Okay, well, it looks like it's going to be Team Secret, Xuan, TNX, Lung, Sun, and of course, Yuhan representing Team Secret. But I was kind of thinking more on the lines of like predictions as of 3-1 in favor of Team Secret.
Okay.
Oh, but first the lineup.
Yep, Team Vitality, their opponents in the first round, in this round of 8, 90 in the clash, Shanks in the jungle, Highland in the mid. We have CT Boy playing the marksman, and Benji on the roam. And yeah, like it's like 3-1, but I expect myself to be wrong even when I say that, because Team Vitality definitely has what it takes to force this to game number 5. But I think ultimately it will be a Team Secret victory.
Okay. All right, you heard it here first, Zero with the call out. I mean, some of the stats, again, heavily favored in front of Team Secret just because they played very, very well, right? In terms of kills, they've gotten quite a number of them. And average kills of 14.3, that is actually pretty crazy per game by Team Secret, just absolutely dominating their opponents. I mean, the other one that kind of sticks out, of course, the average DPM, the damage is quite high, and the first blood rate, that is as to be expected, 50%. Team Secret really kind of not having enough games to really make a dent in that department, at least.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, you have to remember Team Secret also played some of the shortest games in the group stage as well. So having this high amount of average kills, and you compare that with the actual time being played, that goes to show how aggressive Team Secret can play, how fast their movements are across the map. So it's going to be interesting. Team Vitality has been one to show that they favor the mid-game sort of composition. They like to play after getting some farm, after getting some objectives across the map. So if they're able to withstand the early aggression coming from Team Secret, I think Vitality has a very good shot in taking games. If not, they're just going to crumble in the early game aggression that Team Secret has been able to pull out.
Yeah, and we kind of saw some of those weaknesses that you're talking about, right? With that early game, Team Vitality looked a little shaky against Vivo Key Stars, who were kind of dominant from front to end. But it's one of those times where, you know, again, they've had a day off yesterday, and I'm sure the team kind of regrouped. They're not in a terrible spot. Second place is still great getting into that top 8. They've already secured their spot into the EWC, so it's a matter of just fine-tuning at this point. I mean, they've gotten their strategies worked, got them here, so they just need to continue on with that. So I do expect Team Vitality to be a little bit stronger, making some waves, making some more maybe potential jungle invades to kind of just shake things up a bit. But again, we're getting ready. The players are kind of getting queued up with their Infinix GT20 Pros, all of them amazing phones to kind of just play into this next matchup here.
Absolutely, and we start off the draft spicy. The dash out ban as expected from Vitality. They do not want to face against that, while Team Secret goes for the more standard ban so far, at least. Arlie, the highest ban and picked marksman in the current roster in this tournament as well, and of course Heino banned out there by Team Secret as well.
Yeah, and it looks like Team Secret are gonna first pick the Dahlia. We've seen a rise of this. It wasn't so much in the first couple of days, but the Dahlia has really picked up a lot of steam in group stage days 3 and 4. It's going to be picked up for both sides. Just a lot of potential in terms of the supporting role, the healing. Like, you have a lot of things that you can do with it. So it's a nice pickup here, but the Team Vitality, their counter picks, you want to walk me through some of those, Zero?
Yeah, they pick up the Kaiser. They're trying to steal away the one of the combinations that you can play with the Dahlia is having that Kaiser. Having 2 ultimates always makes it very strong. And a lane, very strong. One of the strongest Clash laner heroes in the pool right now. Vitality, you know, they are going to show their hand early, of course, you know, having their mid Clash as well as the jungle already picked in the first 3. And, you know, Vitality has been the only team to win with the Shangguan so far. So definitely a hero that Highland is very comfortable with, definitely a hero that he can play very well. It's just not a fantastic sort of utility mage at the moment, but it brings other users to the table, and you know, Vitality seems to really like having that hero in their roster.
Yeah, crazy actually. I mean, Shangguan's been picked 6 times. It has a 17% win rate. I think Team Vitality was the only one that has actually had some level of success with it. But okay, on the other side, Team Secret, D-Renche and then Lady Zhen, both of these are very meta picks, right? D-Renche is top 4. Sorry, it's the number 4 pick in the entire league, as well as Lady Zhen, which is the number 1 pick. It's been picked a monstrous 19 times and has a 79% win rate. This is like an auto win, no?
I mean, it's just so much utility that the Lady Zhen can bring onto the table. You've got magic damage, you've got
That's
mute,
what the
you've got
caster
crowd
said,
control,
like this,
you've got knockback.
this Lady Zhen now
she
has
just
a
does it all.
ridiculous high win
very
rate.
similar to what a Princess Frost can do, but in this tournament, you know, we've seen the rise of Lady Zhen, and Princess Frost kind of has fallen off the board a little bit. People have not really been picking her up a lot, but you know, Lady Zhen after the rework has been a really solid, really strong mid laner that you can pick into any sort of lineup, and it will make sense. And of course, when you pair it with the Dahlia, then you have 2 ultimates, which creates so much havoc in those fights that it can be very very suppressive. Now Team Secret, all they need is their jungle and their Clash, and they definitely need 2 tanks here.
Coming out from Team Secret,
one semi-tank and a Clash tank. They do ban out the Lian Po themselves, which is interesting because it feels like they could have loved, they would have loved having the Lian Po there, but looks like they go for 2 fighters here.
Petrified.
They've got the Main as well as the Jing.
Yeah, the Main and the Jing, the Main provides so much, right? I think if we're talking about Xuan here, he has a 100% win rate, obviously with only 4 games played, but nonetheless, he's quite able on this Main here. You're going to see a lot of disruptiveness and just kind of action. You know, they're going to basically force the action on you, right? And so Team Vitality here picked up the Yarya, nice little synergy with Marco Polo. So I kind of like that pick to just round out their draft.
Yep, also helps a lot with Kaiser being able to survive longer when he pops
Jing
the
is on the
ultimates.
opponent's
Also
side.
with Shangguan as well. It enables so many of these heroes from the side of Vitality to be able to play more aggressive and be able to survive much better. It does not solve the problem of less team fight potential.
Early
in
game,
their lineup.
Vitality
They really
is
only have
weaker.
their lane
Vitality
that
has to drag it out.
more team fight control and damage. But hey, you know, who needs
But
more
they
control?
really
You can
need
just
to
really
restrict on
burst
Jing's
people down from a
growth.
far range. You got the Shangguan, you've got the Marco Polo, and you can just play in a very fast in and out style if they wish to. So,
Okay, we're gonna
first
go with
games draft.
yeah, first match, first game. We know the lineups, we know the players. Who do you give the edge to?
I like personally, even if you cover both teams' names right now, I would still prefer Team Secret's draft.
Yeah, Team
It
Secret's
seems to
draft
have
is so much
a
better.
little bit more coverage in every single aspect of the game that you need to win the game. You've got
Except they are
support,
not
you've
that
got,
tanky.
you've
So,
got frontline, you've got
if
damage, you've
they
got
crumble,
control,
they
and
they
you've
do
got
not
team
have
fight.
an
You've got
actual
team fight
frontline.
everywhere with the Dolia and the Lady Zen. But you know, Vitality, they have a lot less team fight, and you know, in the late game stages, team fights are almost everything.
Okay, it's funny that you say that because you're like, oh yeah, we just cover out the player names, and then I'm still gonna give the edge to Team Secret. But I think that what we didn't do is cover that Malaysian flag, and I think that the bias is showing at this point, Zero. No?
Yep,
No,
there's
no,
bias.
absolutely without bias.
No? Are you sure? Okay. All right. Nonetheless, we're into this one. It's going to be, of course, the first matchup. This is going to be game one. This is the knockout stage. Loser goes home. It's going to be a best of 5. This is going to be starting off very, very strong on this one. So it's going to be fireworks from minute 1, I believe. But which lane is probably the most volatile, Zero?
It's going to be very passive across all of these lanes. You know, you've got the Dirinjie and the Dolia, not really kill combinations. Marco Polo is as well. Meanwhile, the Kaiser isn't a hero that wants to roam a lot in the early stages of the game as well. Neither is the Jing, so the laning stages are going to be a lot more passive, even on both sides. Most of the action will probably be in this top lane, where a lane really wants to be asserting his dominance in the lane. But other than that, other than, you know, 3-man rotations towards the top lane, to maybe slow down the main or slow down the lane, we're not going to see too much action in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Okay, all right. Now I'm a little disappointed by that. I thought it'd be a little bit more. But I mean, okay. Which lane, though, has to have the highest... Oh, the meteor kill. A little bit off the mark. Xuen, actually, whatever's back to safety. And if we're looking in the top lane, I mean, Team Vitality seem to be kind of prioritizing this top one here, as it looks like they've got the level difference. They've got the lanes that are pushing. I mean, is this the right lane for you? Well, the Invincible Warrior, sorry, going into this one. Xuan taking a lot of damage,
This
but
is
he's
a
going
very
to back
nice
up. He
start
will be
coming out
fine.
from the side of Vitality.
Yeah, that clash lane is definitely where you want to put pressure, especially if you're Vitality. You want to stop the main getting to the mid lane, the mid game very comfortably, and that's why you see the Jing helping the main out so early on. She wasn't really fully focusing on farming. She was providing backup to her team, knowing that, hey, I just need to get this main to the 12-minute mark, and she's gonna carry the game for me. So good read from both sides, and it ended up really just being a trade of HP, and nobody's going home wounded.
Okay. All right. Now from Team Secret side, which of the players
But
needs to
I
have
still don't really
needs to
like-
really pop off? Really needs to
I
control
would
this
say
game and just kind
comparing
of take
the
over.
mid lane, right? Mid laners.
It's gonna be it
TS
definitely has to fall into
having
the
a
hands
stronger
of the
mid lane
Jing
now.
and TNX and Long having
The-
to play together. They haven't played together for the
Long,
longest of time in different
just
rosters
keep
as well,
rotate
so
and
they
help his
definitely
team
have
as
that.
well.
They have that synergy
Highland,
with each
he's
other. They
very
have to make their
stagnant
rotations
and
with each other to get
Well,
things
he
done
definitely
across
needs
the
to
map. So
give his
for Team
pressure
Secret side,
more
definitely
onto
look out
the bot
for
side.
how Long
Ease,
and TNX is
Shanks
moving
for
across
the
the map.
later game
Okay.
because
All right. Let's reverse it.
the
Let's talk Team
marksman
Vitality
does
then.
really,
Which
like,
of
for
the
the
players
side
here
that
needs
I
to have
see that will be the main carry
the best
will
game
be
ever
Shanks.
to take this game 1?
That's definitely, it has to be Highland on the Shangguan. Shangguan early game, if you snowball, the game's over right there and there. If you get the Shangguan 3 kills in 8 minutes, you know that you're in for a rough time. But if they're able to punish the Shangguan every time she goes for an aggressive tower dive or an aggressive kill, then you know this hero really does fall off. He doesn't provide a lot if you're
making the escape.
playing her from behind. And you know, Highland has had some good game, has had at least one good game on that hero, and that hero is not easy to play at all. So he definitely has, he knows that hero in and out. So it depends on how Team Secret is going to be able to shut her down.
Yeah. There's a huge skill cap on this one. The dash forward by TNX has shown in the mid lane, but it does have a bit of a level advantage. I mean, level 7 versus, okay, CT Boy just hit level 7 in return, so they'll just look to continue to push. But as you said, really not a whole lot of action in the first 4 minutes. It looks like the Tyrant is going to be started here. This is going to be scouted out.
So
The
fast.
Ode is going to connect, and TNX will take the Tyrant, and that was very quick.
Yeah, 4 hero rotation downwards. Jing even had to use the ultimate to make sure that they are able to secure the first one. They got it very fast, and that's going to mean that it's just going to be a more passive gameplay after picking up that Tyrant. But TCK takes a slight lead for now in terms of
he has been very well mechanic.
Objectives across the map, but not by much. Here comes Highland going for a kill on towards Long. The damage, that was what exactly we're looking for. Highland trying to get that 3 kills in 8 minutes. He gets it off in a good start, getting a kill on towards Long.
Okay, but Benji, the support with the Verdant Protector, actually stole the kill. Your thoughts on that one? Do you kind of, slap the hand of Benji at this point for stealing kills, huh?
Well, it is a Yaria. You can't really... Well, we talked about Highland needing to get some kills, but she gets killed. She gets killed herself in towards the mid lane. Jing going in, getting a quick kill. Oh, CT Boy gets a nice kill on towards Xuan as well in the top.
The roaming
that's gonna be huge.
The Fevered Barrage is doing some work. Xian actually flashes away. He's going to be the Death at Sunset. Connects on onto 3. Does the Meteor kill, and he does knock him up, but not enough damage. And TNX will limp away, but he will survive.
That was close for the side of the They did not expect the rotation coming in from 90. And that was a good call from 90 as well, making that teleport towards mid and walk towards down, towards the bottom lanes, seeing that CT Boy has already top lane locked in and already pushed up. The tier 1 tower will fall for the top, so Vitality, they move their clash, but they don't lose too much farm on the Kaiser, and they manage to get the first tower of the game as well. That's going to bode well for them heading towards the mid game.
No, very good right by Team Vitality right there. I think forcing it out, I mean, yeah, the Tyrant was taken or whatever, but you got more of the kills, and of course taking that top T1 is super important. You just kind of created some space. But one thing though would have been nice to have that Tyrant buff on to Shanks with the Marco Polo. I think the damage really accelerates at that point, but unfortunately you got to just pick your battle, so to speak, and I think Team Secret came on top of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta you gotta fight where you think you can win, and Vitality was also very patient. They didn't really try to force too many engagements, but mid lane, Elaine trying to go for 2 of their heroes. It seems like Jing might be in trouble. TNX trying to get out of there with the fancy footwork, trying to heal back up as well. Very low, 1 more hit, and Marco Polo gets the kill. Might be going for more as well. That might be the death. No, barely surviving.
Marco Polo will be the main
is Xuan, and that means the tier 1 tower in the mid is in trouble as well. Vitality off to a hot start, getting 2 towers so early on. That also means that the jungle is in such it's going to be such a dangerous position to
Yari is going to be so
traverse into.
Yeah, and Team Vitality really showing how to probably just take out objectives. It started with, 90 kind of going in and, attacking TNX and soon. But in the top lane, 90 has been killed. You compliment him, and then he just goes down. So I guess that one's on me. My bad.
Caster's curse, it happens sometime. Oh, he walks, looks like the Shangguan walks into a ambush, but Highland was able to get out of there safely. So they did manage to get the tier 1 bottom tower as well. So Vitality is going to be very happy with that.
Be able to
not losing any members.
Yeah, he managed to spot and managed
might be where Team Secret wants to make a stand.
And yeah, you can see CT Boy giving out on his farm to let Shanks
getting a lot of farm. Level advantage over Soon, something to take note of, right? I mean, Soon had died, so he does need to play a little bit of catch up, but Shanks having that Benji just kind of, basically just protecting you at all points. It just makes things a lot easier. But in the top lane, something to take note of, Team Secret, again, trying to make a rotation, trying to force it out. Maybe you take this Crimson Column. They will take this one. They do have the image, but on the backside, it looks like they've got 90. 90 actually went in too deep, tried to go 1 versus 5, not able to do it. He's going to be killed. And it looks like they're going to back off here. They have the finishing stroke trying to go in, but it looks like Highland is going to be the first to fall in that one. And soon will die in return, so it's at 2 for 1 in favor of Team Secret.
Yeah, you never want that Shangguan to go in without any sort of backup. That means that all the damage will be focused on her, and she's not the tankiest of mages. In fact, most of the mages are probably very tanky as well. So 2 for 1 trade, ultimately, you still got the marksman from the side of Team Secret. Highland not gonna feel too happy about dying, but hey, at least he got something back, and that also puts them in a good position to fight for the next upcoming objectives.
I mean, they'll take it at this point, right?
Well,
I think it's still very early. She's trying to get a little bit more farm onto
they really need to focus down
but
more
now the Tyrant, this is going to be started here. It is going to be spotted out by Xuan. They will pull out the Tyrant here at half-life, something to take note of. Are they going to go in? And CT Boy will secure it, takes it down, and they really need that. But the Death at Sunset was committed, as well as the images, and I think they're going to disengage it.
A little too late for Team Secret to rotate most of the members in, and CT Boy held on to the smite very well, not allowing any opportunity. Oh, but bottom lane, Kaiser in trouble.
Oh, but the Invisible War keeps CT Boy alive. Again, Team Secret not able to capitalize, not able to get any kills off of that one. So that's pretty much the end of that.
90 now learning
go down to a little more
previous
macro
few
play
deaths,
as
playing very safe,
most of these players
recalling
are getting
early
their next tier of
instead
items,
of
getting
greeding
towards
to
that
clear
next
the
power
wave.
spike. We do see the Shangguan building more defensive. He's building more lifesteal, building more HP, trying to keep herself alive for a long time, not going for the full burst sort of item build that we do see the Shangguan go for sometimes. So he's playing more for a team,
Well,
being the front line, opening up vision, going for snipes towards the back line, and also getting
for the side of TS.
They definitely need to do
They
that,
do
but
not
Team Vitality
have the
forcing it out. They
front
want to
line.
get as many tyrants as
That's why.
possible. They're all the way in the front. Nighty's going to scout him out. Death and Sunset sees him, does connect onto 3. They've already gotten the Tyrant. They've got the knock-up as well, and they're trying to kill Zhijuan, but he's going to actually run off here. The Fever Barrage, but he went in too deep, and Shanks, oh, he was looking for the Verdant Protector, and Benji was not there to help support. And it looks like Benji is cheating on him as he's gone on to somebody onto Highland instead. And Shanks is going to be like, well, bro, come on,
That
keep me
combo
alive.
was kind of wrong.
Yeah, he had absolute faith in his teammates, but that was still a little bit too deep, even with Benji supporting him. So have to pay this life, and also the first Shadow Overlord going towards the way of Team Secret. That's going to give them a bit more push. But oh, this is a dangerous fight here for Vitality. They don't have the members.
They don't have the members, but Nighty continue to stand forward. He's taking a lot of damage. He does have the Meteor kill. He's doing some damage, but he's going to fall, and Soon will just happily take him up. But Benji does get Soon in return, so they've gotten something. That's a pretty decent trade. The farm lane for the Clash laner?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Vitality will be
Sun
okay with that trade.
his
Obviously, Elaine is very strong in the late game.
farm
You
at all.
kind of want him to scale very well to the late game as well.
Again, the farm
But,
lane,
you know,
suffer.
if you have to
and
choose
having so
someone
much
to
damage.
fall, that's probably Benji first and 90 second would be the players that you'll be happy losing for a trade of their marksman. So Vitality still
Right teammates with that Verdant Protector to keep him alive. And I think that you really want to prioritize Shanks more than anybody else.
so you give them the extra EHP, the extra move speed and stun as well. So that's always going to be very important, especially for heroes like the Shangguan, extra move speed and stun as well. So that's always going to be very important, especially for heroes like the Shangguan, like the Kaiser, like the Marco Polo, who always goes in deep to do damage. And you need that a little bit more to survive. And you might see Benji being the difference between these heroes dying a lot.
No, but Shanks sees TNX. He's going to image away. He's got the mirror. He steps away. The Resplendent Revolver's a little off the mark. The Invincible Warrior's going to be committed as well, but they're on the chase, and they're really not able to find anything. They have the knockout from the whatever from the Juan, but it looks like they're going to have to back off. They're in the zone. They're going to get out of the mirror domain. They've gotten Highland right where they want him. He's so low, but he finally gets killed. Juan does go in and gets killed. Juan does go in and gets the smash, and she gets serious with the Resplendent Revolver onto Soon. And it looks like they're going to take that one kill, and they're going to back off.
Yeah, that was such a bad fight for Vitality. Half of their movement was blocked off by the Lady Zen ultimate. So that means that they were kind of split up, and Highland was on the wrong side of the map and just got picked off there. That also allows Team Secret to start pushing towards this mid lane, but they should be able to stop the bleeding right there and then and stabilize the game from here.
Yeah, and through that all, while Team Secret is coming up on top, you're definitely feeling the momentum favoring in Team Secret right now. But net worth-wise, still behind. Team Vitality have done a great job of securing that farm, pushing it out and understanding how to take over the map. But this is still a time where Team Vitality cannot rest on their laurels. They need to continue to push. They need to be aggressive and take as much of the enemy jungle as possible. But Team Secret are finding ways to get back in this game.
Yeah, I think even with this network difference, it's still a very comfortable position here for Team Secret. They definitely can scale towards the late game with the Delia, with the Jing and the Main as well. But Vitality, they might want to ramp up the aggression, and they're gonna start that with this Tyrant.
Yeah, they're going to start this one. And it looks like 2 members of Team Secret are already a little low. The Image is just doing some work, and CT Boy gets sliced and diced. And Juan will die in return. And it looks like Nighty's trying to draw a bead on TNX. Not able to do it. Or Yuan, excuse me. And he will fall. Again, a favored trade for Team Secret. 2 versus 1. And they're going to look to capitalize and turn this into a Tyrant.
Boy, they can just go for this Tyrant.
Jing played just so well. And I was able to get through the backline, gets a kill onto his Benji as well, but that's going to be the
first
kill
to fall
towards the Delia. They get the Shadow Tyrant as well, and here Team Secret starts to take the reins of the game. TNX, absolutely monster in those last 2 fights, and he's been really making things work here for Team Secret.
Yeah, and Benji was just like, hey, I listened to you, Cero. I died first in that team fight. I did my job, right?
Right? No, not really.
Okay, not in this case. But now this T2 mid is going to be sieged here. Team Vitality, all they can do is really watch. But again, the net worth lead has shifted. TNX makes a beeline for this Overlord, and they're just going to take every single objective at this point.
Yeah, they still have the Primal Bond debuff on them, so they're going to take a bit more damage, going to take a bit more time to finish off this this Overlord, but the rotations are not going to come in here from Vitality. So that's going to be the Shadow Vanguards being pushing out the waves there for Team Secret as they take a almost 1,000 gold lead at this point
Vitality
in time.
was having
and
such a
10x
nice
is already
early
nearly
game,
fully
but
slotted
now
right now.
Team Secret,
not
this
sure
is
what's wrong with
a
their
very strong
combination.
showing by them. Like, it's one of those things where when you see them in the group where they
They're
were in the
losing
lead
now.
almost in every single game and just like dominated, this is the time where, hey, we face some adversity and how do we bounce back? Team Secret understanding that the macro level of this play of just getting themselves back in this game, of controlling it, getting as much farm as possible, and just choosing the right fights. And this net worth lead is completely shifted in favor of Team Secret.
They are so good in playing from behind, and they're either saying, oh, Highland dropping down very low, has to pop the ultimate to get the hell out of dodge. Jing did use his mirrors as well, but not going to get too much out of that. So the Shadow Vanguard in the bottom lane will be cleaned up here. But
CT Boy not on the right side.
He's been knocked back. He pops his ultimate, trying to back off. Ladies and ultimate perfectly placed, but he's still very safe for now. Can he back off in time? Dropping down very low, trying to go for the kill.
Nice.
Looks like they're not going to overcommit for that.
Nice kill coming out from Bengi.
Chased off though, but Jing with the ultimate, the damage just dissuading Vitality from moving any forward, and they will, in return, after all that, get the bottom tier 3 tower.
What a great fight by Team Secret there. Just understanding that, like, hey, we don't have to fully commit for this, but we do need to make it very uncomfortable for Team Vitality, where they can't actually team fight. They actually had to hide under their own T3, and through that all, they were able to siege it, and they were to take it out. That's exactly what you want as Team Secret, where, hey, it's not about the kills, it's about the objectives and taking that out, and taking that bottom T3 at the 16-minute mark is actually a pretty sizable blow.
That was a very clean move there from Team Secret. They lost no one. They got the objective that they were looking for. They did send the Vanguard over there, and they got everything they wanted. But Kaiser going mano a mano against the Jing, has to pop the ultimate, but all
Kaiser,
on an island. He's gonna fall. TNX doing way too much
again.
damage at this point, and Vitality has to defend their base with 4 heroes left.
Okay, you know, City Boy is just like, hey, the
Vitality
skill
is
name
just
is called
doing
Invincible
very-
Warrior. Why am I not invincible against 5 guys?
Sounds
And he
kind
just
of
dies
weird.
right there. He just gets blown up against 5 people. Not going to happen here. And Team Secret, again, just finding another pick off, making it very difficult for Team Vitality.
The saving grace right now is that Marco Polo is very, very farmed. He can deal a lot of damage from a very safe distance, and he can always go in and out as well. But speaking of in and out, there goes Shanks. He goes down, so does the Dalia, Yaria, and they're gonna lose the tier 3 tower as well. This might be all over here for Vitality as Team Secret looks to strike first in the first game of the best of 5, and they will take down the Crystal and take the opening win in this series.
Yeah, Team Secret almost seemed like they were possessed. They were kind of angry, and they were just like, okay, we found the openings, we know how to do this, and we just close the game out. We know how to finish it when we have that lead, and it made it very uncomfortable for Team Vitality to kind of get themselves back in the game. I think Team Vitality was, they need to figure out a way when they have that lead to continue on with that lead and to push that advantage instead of giving some sort of space for Team Secret to get themselves back in the game, and they were able to do that very easily almost.
Yep, absolutely. Team Secret knew how to drag, just play around the map, drag out the game a little bit more to reach their power spike. Like the Mei needs 12 minutes, the Jing needs a bit more time to get to her items as well. And we did see Vitality try to push the tempo, try to play a lot faster, but it just took one bad fight for really Vitality to, for Team Secret to turn things around. And Team Secret has been one of these teams that they can play very fast and very aggressive, but they also know how to play from behind as well.
Yeah, and I think it really comes down to the draft here. I mean, Team Secret understanding the limits of each of the characters that they chose. I think there was a huge impact in terms of Lady John. I think you have to ban her, right? You cannot be playing against this, or even pick it yourself. Maybe you give yourself a chance because just the amount of the Ocean of Tears, like the terrain blocking stuff, making things difficult, plus the destructive delusions just left and right. I mean, with the Dahlia combination, is just too much, right? And they need to really look into that for Game 2 in terms of the draft.
This is why Lady Zen she is the most banned and most picked hero in this tournament so far. So you gotta put some really focus on it, especially if you're not a team that plays that hero, if you know sometimes you can just open up with a ban on the Lady Zen. And in 9 out of 10 times that's going to be the correct decision, just because of how strong she is in the current meta.
Okay, well, going into this one, let's check out the items of that game. I think it's going to be the tail of the tape in the sense of just like how they've kind of picked it up, right? In terms of Tian X having the most net worth, the Jing, like you just saw how much damage was done. This is my MVP. I mean, 8-1 and 4. Like there's no one else, right? It has to be TNX, right?
I mean, they were focusing a lot on
almost,
Sun.
You can't argue
like
against
at one point they
numbers
stopped
and stats.
focusing
And I
and
mean,
he
TNX
managed to
had
get his
an absolute
back.
crazy game. The mid game definitely was. He was just so dominant. He got multiple kills by himself, and just the farm alone. He's not building full glass cannon. He's building tanky. He's building defensive. He's also building the correct items against his opponents, and he's just also a beast on the hero mechanically as well. So you put all of that in one player, he's going to be the MVP.
Yeah, for sure. And he just showed up, right? I mean, like Loom was 8,000 net worth, had very little, but the 019, I mean, he didn't die very much. And you're kind of like, the mid laner not really getting a whole lot of farm, but you don't really need it. You kind of like, you could just kind of like shove it on. Like you have so much control, your spells are good that you don't really need as many items as again, like Zhuan or Tian X and Sun kind of need. So it's one of those things where you can kind of limit yourself to do it, so that for the sake of the team.
Yeah, that's the power of Lady Zen. That with no net worth, she can do almost the same thing as she would with 13,000. So take a look at the stats here. You see Lady Zen on top of the damage dealt for the team, and she doesn't even have full items yet. That's how crazy this hero actually is, and that's why you gotta really put some focus on it on the draft phase.
Yes, for sure. And I think that Team Vitality were like, hey, we have the Elaine, Nighty can just jump on her and get onto him. But Team Secret, the way that they were playing is that they were actually the initiators of all the fights. Team Vitality had to react to everything that was thrown at them. They really couldn't find the Loom to just kind of to jump on him and to kind of take him out. And Loom's positioning was flawless. I mean, look at this, the 25,000 damage taken, the lowest across the entire, board, right? Like, it just speaks volumes about the fact that, he can be doing the damage and he can do it from a safe spot.
Absolutely. It's absolutely crazy to see, Team Secret just moving so well as a team together, knowing that, Team Vitality, they have all these heroes that wants to jump towards the backlines, and all they need to really do is just play together as a team. They have the Dalia to provide the AoE heal. They have the better team fight with the Lady Zen as well, so why not utilize that and don't lose any members without getting at least something for yourself. And despite the lead that Vitality had in the early game, it wasn't much. It was 1,700, maybe 2,000 at most, but it was something that was still comfortable enough for Team Secret to say, hey, we can just continue in our game plan and we will win the late game.
Yeah, and speaking of late game, Team Secret really pulling out on top. This is one of those things where, okay, if I'm going to use the student analogy here, where Team Secret showed up to class, they went to a couple pop quizzes, but then the midterm came around and they failed, and they were dipping down, and then they're like, oh crap, now we need to study. Now we gotta just win it out in the end, and they did, and all on the back of TNX, of course, with his KDA of 8-1 and 4. That damage dealt was crazy too, is 100,000. But TNX really making a huge impression on the game, right? With the mirror domains.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's any argument against TNX being picked as the MVP here. Absolutely crazy performance from him. And, you've got so many heroes that he can play. Jing is one of the more popular ones. And, do you want to take that out of his hands, or do you just want to play differently or draft differently against him?
And we're going to have to see. I mean, we're going to go into the highlights here. This is going to be the TNX special, I would say. He's just going to get kills left and right. But if you see some of the attacks, like CT Boy going in 1 versus 5, Team Vitality was not there to help out. Nighty goes in as well. Then they're like, okay, we'll just focus on this. We'll just eat this free food, so to speak. It's a 5 versus 1. We're able to take him out. But they isolated very, very well in terms of the attacks. Like, yeah, he goes in, Shanks. He had a nice Fever Barrage. He was in the heart of the enemy team, but where was everyone else? Like, he doesn't want to be that focal point. He wants to be kind of like, let Elaine go in, let the CT Boy Kaiser go in, let them kind of attract attention, and then Shanks can kind of just clean up everyone else, right? He doesn't need to be going in first, and they seem to be not on the same page.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to bring up that point. It's like is that you see this lineup from Vitality. They have 3 heroes, actually even 4 heroes that really want to jump towards the backlines, but they never seem to be doing that together as a team. And I definitely agree with that statement that it doesn't seem like they are taking these engagements together as a team. Feels like one player says, hey, let's go in, and then you have 3 other players and will be like, hey, let's be a bit more patient, wait for a better opportunity. So when you're playing something like a composition like this, trying to play aggressive, everybody needs to be doing the same thing, else it will just be like what we've seen in this almost the entire highlight was just players dying by themselves.
Yeah. Okay, in a team fight, you want to get it so that you have a numbers advantage somewhere, right? There are different pockets of the fight that are going on at the same time. And if you're seeing what happened, if you isolate the large team fights, those fights are in favor of Team Secret almost every time, right? There'll be like a Nighty will be somewhere. He'll be fighting 1 versus 3. And then you trying to want to get numbers elsewhere. But those other 2 from Team Secret are staying alive, right? So it's like their positioning is good. Understanding the coordination of who we need to blow up is just very, very well coordinated by Team Secret.
Yeah, Team Secret definitely looks like they are looking like the better team in terms of just playing together, not even by composition or draft. They're just they feel like they are doing everything. They have a hive mind, right? They are being controlled by one puppet master, but everybody knows their role. They know what they need to do, and it's been fantastic to see them play so well so far. But something else that's fantastic to see, that's already here. I've been playing some games on him as well. That's going to be the Yao. That's already released in the global server. It's now available to all. So definitely, if you like flashy heroes, if you like fighters yourselves, pick yourself up the Yao, and you're going to have some fun with it.
Yeah, definitely. And he's a lot of fun to play. I mean, I've only kind of just tested him out a little bit. I did get to play around with him a bit, and just the potential for outplay is just there, right? And I think the Shining Star living up to it, he's going to earn you a lot of stars. So definitely look to pick him up in the jungle, especially. So he's a lot of fun.
Yeah, very flashy skills. The movement's beautiful as well.
True.
So yeah, I can't wait for Yao to make his way to the competitive scene. Not in this patch, obviously. They are playing in the previous patch. You don't want to introduce new heroes in the middle of a tournament for sure, but in the next one definitely we'll be seeing at least him make his debut in the competitive Honor of Kings circuit.
Definitely. And but we're still not over with this one. I think that was a very good, strong statement by Team Secret with that win. Now, if you happen to be Team Vitality, what do your coach, Zero, okay? Tell Team Vitality what they need to do better in this game. Other than be Malaysian.
So they need to shake off that last loss. It is a best of 5. You gotta take one game at a time. Just not really forget the entire loss, but remember the good things, learn from the bad ones, and then just move on to the next game. It is a best of 5. It's not a global ban pick, so you still have everything to play for, and it is just gotta put one foot ahead of the other and focus on the next draft. You gotta draft a bit better. I definitely feel like Team Secret had won in the draft in the previous game, so this game gotta start off from the beginning, get into the game with a good draft, and then move on from there.
Okay. Well, speaking of which, it looks like Team Vitality have stolen the same playbook, or at least the first pick of the Delia here. Looking to change things up. Team Secret, this is not just with everything seems to be reversed right now. With Elaine being picked up by Team Secret, and of course with the Lady Jean just kind of rounding it out. You just got to go with the Lady Jean no matter what, right?
Yeah, it's just like if it's not banned, definitely pick it up early. It seems to be the formula that has been working out for all of these teams. Vitality gets a very scary combination themselves. They got the Dolia Kaiser combination, and that was something that they didn't have in the previous game. They did have the Kaiser, but without the support of the Dolia. Probably as a block pick away from Team Secret, but this time they get the full combination themselves. It's gonna be fun to watch, but the Team Secret seems like they are trying to make a point here. We can play your heroes, but better.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of disrespect more than anything else. But okay, let's talk a little bit about the Shangguan here, right? Team Vitality, we know that Highland can technically play him, and he did have that one really good game. But I think that when things get chaotic and difficult, especially going up against a Titan like Team Secret, where generally you want to play probably the less mechanically difficult heroes just to make your life a lot easier. Like, you can worry about the other things. You have so many other things to worry about now with like spell selection and all that, and like targeting and all that. But wouldn't it be better for Team Vitality to choose a hero that doesn't have a 14% win rate?
Absolutely. I mean, my ex-coach used to tell me, you know, when things get hard, just dumb it down. Pick the easiest things to play and then focus on executing as a team instead of, you know, trying to play the hardest hero of the game. Sure, it's flashy, sure, it's fun, but, you know, now you're trying to take wins. Now you're trying to move on further in this tournament. And sometimes I completely agree with that. You have to dumb down the game for yourself, for your team, and pick something simple. A Princess Frost still left on the table. The Mai wasn't banned up to that point as well. So pick up these. Oh, it was banned already, but you know, pick up the Mai, pick up the Zhou, pick up even something simple to execute that your entire team knows how to play around and with, and just outplay your opponents from there.
Yeah. And I feel like the Shangguan, it can work. It's just that there's a lot of potential weaknesses, and I think that you need to shore it up, and the positioning is going to be just very, very important. And I'm not a huge fan of that pick here, but that said, the Fang here and the Mayin, both to kind of round out their draft with Team Vitality. Are they, would you say, tanky enough with the Mayin and the Kaiser kind of frontlining to really deal with this Team Secret, which has the Marco Polo, has the potential to do a lot of damage, but you only have the Zhang Fei in the front? Is this enough?
It feels like, again, like they are not drafting for team fights. Is Vitality. They don't have much team fights in their lineup. Same with the first game. You know, this game you have to do Leah, slightly more team fight. But again, you got the Kaiser, who kind of wants to just 1 versus 1 against the enemy, or just be the semi tank for his team, but no one else to follow up with. There's almost no stuns on the entire lineup of Vitality, and you know, we've seen this happen in the first game where they couldn't take any fight just because of how oppressive the Ladies End ultimate was. And this game, you know, Team Secret still has the Ladies End. They have the Elaine to bolster up the team fight. They've got the Ada for the team fight, and the Zhang Fei as well, one of the best team fight supports in the game, in the hands of Team Secret. So they have all the team fight they need for the side of Team Secret, and we've seen them being able to drag out the game long enough for the team fights to really matter.
Yeah, and Team Vitality, just, they seem to have, okay, they want to be mobile, they want to be, you know, glass cannon-ish and just blow people up. But man, when those long, prolonged fights happen that Team Secret are really going to want, especially with that lineup, I feel like Team Vitality have to play this one perfectly. You make a single mistake and the game is pretty much over, because there's no way you catch up, especially against this lineup of Team Secret here.
Yeah, absolutely. Not with your heroes, not with Fang, not with the Shangguan. Anytime you fall behind by 1,000 gold, you know that net worth is gonna double and triple, become more exponential as the game goes by without you getting multiple kills. So let's see if Vitality is able to make any adjustments in their gameplay, play a bit faster for game number 2, or will we see Team Secret go off to match point this early on?
Okay. Well, speaking of matches, this is going to be the first match of the day. Game 2, of course. Can Team Vitality bounce back? TNX, I think, actually got the steal. He's going to take that one out. And in the bottom lane, Soon and Shanks, Shanks just getting scurried away. But talk to me a little bit about this Zhang Fei here.
Yeah, Zhang Fei is a very strong team fight support. He doesn't provide a lot in the first few minutes of the game. He only really just shields, a little bit of knockback. But how most teams are playing the Zhang Fei is really as an aggressive support, invading the jungle with your own jungle. You know, just really starving out your opponent's jungle, giving tempo to your team, information as well. Because he's such a tanky and also mobile hero that, you know, he can really just go on his own into enemy territory and still feel safe enough that he knows that he's going to be able to back off.
Yeah, actually, I'm a roamer. I just spam Zhang Fei myself. I just love the hero. I think that there's just so much potential outplay with him. He has a lot of mobility, and plus, you know, that ult just catches people off guard. You're like, hey, well, he's very low, and then all of a sudden he turns around and he just like kills you. And it's just an interesting hero, of a great hero design, I would say. But, you know, of course, if we're talking about the junglers here from CT Boy and TNX, both of them having this smite here, being able to just kind of do a lot of damage to a monster, very important. And of course, you do have a bit of a stun with it, so the potential of a steal is going to be on pretty much the junglers here, and that's why it's so important for them.
Yeah, definitely, and that's also why we see, a lot of times the Zhangfei more often than not pick up the smite for this exact reason. You're gonna invade the jungle, you want to be fast, so you just double smite the mobs and get out. TNX dropping down very low though. He is almost dead. He does fall. Highland gets the first kill. That's gonna bode well for the Shangguan because the recipe for success on this hero is 3 kills in 8 minutes, and in the previous game he sort of had it stolen from him, but looks like he's going for more. But for the side of teams, they're able to back off.
Yeah, probably a little too aggressive. I mean, everybody, and they're like, hey, we stole it last time. CT Boy was just like, hey, he sounded the alarm, and he's just like, guys, I need help. And everybody came running to him. This is very different than my ranked games where I say help, and then nobody comes to me, and they probably disconnect on me. Very different side of this Honor of Kings. But okay, Team Secret here down just 1 kill, but they're up in terms of net worth. Is forcing CT Boy to kind of react to TNX's movements. No, but that's not it. Sorry, 90 looks like he's going to get slammed down by Xuan. He'll take this one.
99 to 90. But to go back to your point, for Kaiser, he doesn't really want to join fights early, so he's more than happy to have some downtime so that he can continue on his farm, get to his first 6,000 gold to make him a little bit tankier. But Shangguan in some danger. Highland can use the ultimate to get out of there. Looks like he might be able to just in time. The Zhangfei ultimate knocks her even further back, so Highland's gonna be able to escape from all of that. Drops the second ultimate after the Dalia, refreshes it. So all is good in the world here for Vitality. They don't lose anything, and they got the Zhangfei ultimate to be used out of there. So that means there's no ultimate from the support in this bottom fight, and they might look to take one for themselves.
Yeah, they're going to try to take the Tyrant here, and it looks like they're going to take this one. TNX will secure yet another one. Again, using that smite, very important for him to do so. But I just want to kind of comment on Yuhan's, which is the unbridled outburst where he pushed away Highland. As a Zhangfei spammer myself, I have done that many a times. I feel like I am an Honor Pro player myself.
Mid lane, Highland in trouble. Arthur will be able to finish him off. TNX off to a good start as well. Getting the kill, might be getting a second one. The block was not enough. Rotations from CT Boy coming in was a bit late because he was more focused on getting the Overlord. Not the most important objective this early on, but the goal is still goal for them. But the trade-off was they lose their mid lane.
Yeah, and that's going to be a pretty sizable gap at this point, right? Highland, again, you need to, what was it? The 3 kills at 8 minutes. We're already almost at the 5-minute mark, and I think he only has a single kill. He's definitely behind, and that's going to put him back even further. But look at this invade. Team Secret, not afraid. They're going to be super aggressive, trying to steal as much as possible. The Invincible Warrior has been committed. The Ghost Ship has been used just to kind of push him back and to dive him back. Now Highland has to use the finishing stroke in defense, but he's stuck in the tower. Okay, in the cave, excuse me. But he dashes over the wall. He's gonna be fine. And it looks like Team Vitality are looking to just back off at this point.
Highland has to thank his lucky stars that they did manage to pick up the Dalia for himself. Getting a second ultimate got him out in case they were continuing to chase. But still, a lot of utility being forced out here from Vitality, and Team Secret is still very healthy. They want to pressure this bottom tier 1 tower. Sun's already doing so much damage towards the Dalia, but no one else to back them up in this push, and they're gonna back off.
Yeah, and while TNX did have that death early, he's still a level above. Okay, CT Boy just hit level 9, so he's gonna catch up to him. And it looks like TNX gonna be pushed away with the Ode, but again, the TNX, his presence has been felt even in, obviously in game 1. You're definitely feeling it in game 2 as well. He's just putting a lot of pressure throughout all of the different lanes.
He's playing this Arthur very well, knowing that he's strong early game, playing aggressive, opening up the jungle, looking for kills, and that's been able to keep Team Secret in the lead for now. But here comes TNX, trying to finish off 90. 90 able to back off and flash away to safety. A couple of common skills being utilized there, but no one is falling from that. Team Secret's gonna back off for now.
Back off, and Xuan will look to go for the meteor kill. He actually misses, and now he has to death at sunset just to keep himself alive, just to hide the shame of missing that meteor kill. But it looks like the Crimson Golem has been taken here. City Boy has used his Invisible Warrior. He's still up in front, and he's gonna get shot down by the Resplendent Revolver, but I think Team Secret will get away with this.
Yep, nothing that Vitality can really do. They don't have any stuns. They can't stop anyone from backing off. And again, the jungle has been constantly pressured by the side of Team Secret that, CT Boy is suffering. He doesn't have his blue buff, he doesn't have his red buff at the moment. He's going to go for the blue buff right after this, which gives Team Secret an opening. They know that, Kaiser's going to be in the jungle, so they can pressure bottom or even pressure mid while he tries and get that.
Okay, but the net worth lead is only about 1k. It's not the end of the world. Unbridled Outburst, going to be committed here. TNX goes for the ghost shift, but he actually has to back away. The Blade Storm will zone everybody away. Now, Team Vitality down about 1k, and yet they're the only ones that have taken a tower in this game. So they're still kind of in it, if you know what I mean?
Yep. 1,000 net worth lead at this point isn't insurmountable, isn't huge. It's half an item away from everyone else, but here a lane going towards the backline, trying to finish off Highland. Highland in some trouble. Can he pop the ultimate in time? Looks like he will not. He will fall. Xuan will be the one to pick up the kill, but have they overextended? No, they have not. CT Boy will fall as well. So it's a 3 versus 5 fight in towards the mid, and we might see Team Secret getting the first tower of their own themselves.
Okay, Xuan here just kind of flexing. I mean, playing really well, hitting the back line, just cutting off the angle of retreat. And Highland not able to finishing stroke away, but okay. Oh my gosh, he flashes away soon. Does have the shield from the Leaping Savior. Benji's on the other side. He's not going to go for this one, but that was actually pretty close for Sun.
Yeah, it was a close call. I mean, Team Secret has been invading this this Might Golem again and again. Has been able to get it every single time. Team Vitality tried to punish them for that move, but again, Team Secret able to get away with highway robbery, and that also allows Xuan to push out the top lane. Seeing 4 heroes in the bottom already, he knows that, hey, I can push out this top, not be in any danger whatsoever, and potentially get that top tier 1 tower.
Okay, looks like they're going to start the Overlord here. TNX will start this one. They do have the portal play from Zwan, who's going to be in the bottom lane. Will show. It looks like, oh, Highland gets the steal. Okay, we'll take that.
That's good for the current situation of Vitality. They get to slow things down a little bit. Now they have additional damage from the buff, and they might look to take a fight over here. Everyone's still healthy. CT Boy got the blue buff, arguably the more important buff for the Kaiser, and they might try and get something to get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, they're going to need a little bit more of those. Just a couple more steals and they're back in it. Nighty's going to hide in the bushes. Team Secret, on the other hand, are going to look to just push the top lane. Oh, no, okay. Oh, Nighty trying to dodge away. He flashes just to get himself back to safety, but Sun will continue to push the top lane.
Nothing much they can do about the Marco Polo, not with the main, especially not with this current lead for now, so they're going to be happy to back off and defend. A more important tower is that mid tower, because it opens up the rotations towards both the Tyrant and the Overlord. By the bottom fight, again, all circulating around this Red Golem.
Yeah, the Forbidden Domain just providing a little bit of zoning, and Shanks is going to be the first to fall. He's been sniped in, and it looks like Highland trying to run, but Benji's going to be killed as well. It's a 2 for nothing, and they're trying to kill Xuan. Not able to do so. He gets the shield from the Leaping Savior, keeping him alive. Nighty wants him. Xuan, gets him with a meteor kill, knocks him up, and takes down Nighty as well. It's a 3 for nothing, and it looks like they're going to capitalize and turn this into a Tyrant kill as well. Really well played by Team Secret.
Yeah, really good fight coming out of there. They get even more jungle objectives. CT Boy continues to suffer, only getting half the buffs at all times. So Team Secret's 4,000 net worth lead almost at this point, and it's reaching that point where Team Secret is at their best, where they are the most aggressive, where they're the strongest with their power spike and Vitality. They don't have the items to fight back for now.
No real chance. This is very difficult. Anytime Team Secret get a lead, they just put their foot down, so to speak. And the Ghost Ship is just locking him in. Yes, he's the Invincible Warrior, but okay, he will use that just to keep himself alive. And CT Boy, again, a level behind TNX, hasn't really had too much success thus far.
Yeah, he's having a terrible game. 5,500 net worth in 11 minutes as the jungle is not a good spot. And for Kaiser, if you don't have any items, you're not really that tanky. You're relying on your Invincible Warrior to try and survive, but it's not enough as this game goes on. Shang's dropping down very low, gets solo killed there by TNX, and they're going to try and go for more. We do see 10x knocking one back. Highland trying to use the ultimate, not gonna get it in time. Double kill towards the side of the Ada, and they're gonna push out towards the top lane. Crit waves are already coming in. They're gonna get another kill on towards Benji, and this is going to be a free tower to pick up there by Team Secret. The question is now, are they gonna try and finish this game off right here and now, or would they make this the safer move and back off?
Nah, I mean, with 3 down, you have to go for this one. It's going to be one last hurrah, trying to defend. Nighty solo. He's going to be the one to fall, and it's going to be a team wipe. And Ace goes the way of Team Secret. They're just going to wait for the next minion waves. They're going to close this game out. It looks like they've got this in full control. They're going to take down the base, and it looks like Team Secret will take game 2.
So fast. The tempo is just so fast for Team Secret. Give them an inch, they'll take a mile. They'll take your tier 3 and they'll take your crystal on the same breath. So fantastic start here for the Malaysian squad. They're up 2-0 right now in this best of 5 series.
Yeah, they're just controlling the game. There's a lot of tempo, and they're just making some very smart plays throughout. Understanding, again, the limits of the heroes. They're like, hey, we can even pick the heroes that you chose last time, and we'll show you how to use them. And again, I think it's all on the back of the Lady Jeanne. Not to say that the other players from Team Secret weren't able to step up, but again, you just see a lot of impact from this Lady Jeanne.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, mid lane has been phenomenal there for the side of Team Secret, and once again, TNX on the Ada. I mean, he was amazing on the Jing, and he makes Ada looks like an absolute tier 1 jungle hero, which he's not really, because he's a little bit limited in his late game prowess, his late game scalability. But when you end the game in 10 minutes, what's a better hero than Ada to do that for you?
Yeah, I would, it's if you can end a game in 10 minutes, especially at this level, you're gonna have a good time, right? There's gonna be so much confidence going into this one. I mean, you just destroy them in game 2, and you just need one more. I mean, I'm wondering if they kind of mess around a little bit in terms of the draft in game 3, or do they just kind of put on their business suits and just be like, hey, let's be serious about this and just close it out and not really show our hand. But it's gonna be very interesting how they proceed on this one, because again, Team Secret full control, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, you've got so much of a safety net to fall back on, even if they lose the next game or the game after. This definitely isn't looking like the 3-1 or 3-2 we were predicting here, Holler, but it's just been, Team Secret really playing well as a team.
Yeah. This is the Team Secret special, right? To be honest, I'm thinking, Team Vitality, they've done it where they've had decent starts, but Team Secret just find ways to get back in the game. Yep. There are definitely gaps in Team Vitality's strategy where they allow teams to get back in, and Team Secret are finding all of them and just kind of controlling the games from then on. So I think they need to really work on that transition into the mid game.
Yep, the first 4 minutes from the side of Vitality always looks really good. I mean, whether if they're playing aggressive or defensive, they've always been able to get something across the map. But the moment they lose that early game, or even if it reaches the mid game, that's where Team Secret really shines. And this game, I mean, the Zhang Fei, one of your, like you said, your favorite hero, doing very well. No deaths on him. Got his crucial items. He's building very smart in his item build as well, allowing to tank out with the least amount of least amount of items to survive. And of course, not to mention Xuan, as well as TNX, absolute monsters on the lane and the Ada.
Yeah, just controlling the game. I mean, look, the only person who died, I mean, 2 people died. TNX and Xuan both died once, so shame on them. I guess at the end of the day, we have to look at some of the things that they might have done better, and some of those kills or some of those deaths might be avoidable at the end of the day. But again, Team Secret just controlling it out. This is exactly what you wanted. Sun really stepped up. Loong, again, just very low net worth, but able to kind of control the tempo and just do the damage. And I think it'll be interesting seeing in this next one of how much damage they did at the end of the day. Okay, Loong didn't have as much damage this game 1.
Yeah, just because the game ended a lot faster, but he still is the top across both teams, and also taken the least damage across all the other 9 players as well. And that's Lady Zen. 1 Horror staff and you're ready to go. Take the fight anytime. I'm ready. I'm gonna be happy to join these fights, because it means that I get to utilize my low scaling skills, sure, but they're gonna provide so much value in these fights.
Yes, it's all about the value, right? Just trying to do as much as you can. But okay, if I'm kind of wondering, I mean, with the Atta pick by TNX, could there have been a better hero for him? Because I feel like at the same side, if the flip a coin, if we're looking at Soon, of just trying to have a better draft, like it could have been Marco Polo, it could have been, Lady Sun, it could have been almost any other hero because they were just able to control the game. But I'm wondering if the Anta pick had enough impact where you're like, actually, this is the right one in game 2.
I think there is very limited jungle heroes that does the same thing as Ada. Zilong is the other one, which I think will fit in that specific role that he was playing in that game. I actually preferred Zilong over the Ada just because of the ease of execution, as well as just having the extra stun for your team is great. Ada does provide his own sort of benefits to the team. The Ada is more of a team sort of jungle, but there's not many jungle heroes that can fit in the same role. Dun is probably the more popular one, but I'm not a huge fan of Dun at all.
Okay. Well, to be honest, day 4, Dune had quite a showing. There were definitely some good games with him, so I think it's kind of like hit or miss depending on the team. But okay, who do you think is going to be the MVP from Team Secret, right?
I think he could be the Clash laner this time, and yep, it is. It's going to be Shen on the lane. Had a very impactful game, especially in the laning phase as well. So in this second game, it's a lot harder to call. I mean, everybody did their jobs well, and if you have to pick someone out of the entire bunch in this particular game performance, it would be Shen for me as well.
Okay. I mean, the 5-1-5 definitely helps. He was so disruptive. He was getting solo pickoffs on the phone. So he was just kind of going in, and we'll see the Team Secret's highlight reel, so to speak. But they started it off just being aggressive, invading the enemy jungle, making Team Vitality. Like, CT Boy doesn't have that blue buff to start things off. It's going to be rough. Oh, this is actually the second one where they do end up making them pay. But again, Nighty not able to get away. Zhuan had so many good death at sunsets.
Absolutely. He dominated lane in the following team fights as well. He's just going in these fights where it looks like these were the fights that Team Secret Team Vitality wanted to have in their previous game. Having multiple players jumping the backlines, but they were playing from ahead is Team Secret, and that's why that's why TNX, that's why Xuan was able to play so aggressive, because they were ahead. They built properly in terms of their net worth, and they were able to help the team win the fights.
Yeah, and look at Zhuan again, just with the solo kill bottom. I think it was on Shanks, just forcing him out, understanding his target priority of killing him, and then once he was 1v1, then he would deep death at sunset and get himself to the team fight. And Zhuan here somehow surviving with literally a sliver of life, and just managed to kind of just force the issue, right? Shanks on the run, no real way to get away. And this happened countless times. Zhuan was just like, okay, this is my guy. I'm just going to continue to make Shanks' game miserable. I'm just going to have a tough time for him. And again, Shanks did really not able to get any sort of farm because he was focused from the first target in any sort of team fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Great aggressive play here from Team Secret, able to close out game number 2 in a relatively quick fashion. I mean, the average time of the games throughout the group stages has been 15 minutes. That's the average time spent finishing off games. And Team Secret, they are one of the reasons it's so low. It's because they've been able to end their games really fast and really just skewing the average game time a little bit in the shorter side. So this game number 2, definitely a strong showcase for Team Secret.
Yeah, and Team Secret here, of course, I mean, they started at 5 p.m. and they're just like, hey, we got to rush off. We got a good dinner to go to. So we're just going to close this one out as quickly as possible. They've done so well, right? But if we're going to talk a little bit about this next one here, of course, give us a follow on the Honor of Kings Global Esports. There are plenty of prizes that you can win. All you need to do is, of course, follow and share, and to have yourself get a chance at winning some Infinix gaming gadgets, and of course, some other rewards as well, like the watch, the phone, the headphones, all of that stuff. Please do follow, and it's like one of the easiest ways you can win those prizes.
Don't forget skins as well. I've been trying to get my hands on the Zilong Dragon Ascendant skin. That looks so good. But hey, this might be my chance, and you guys might stand the same chance as well. That's why you gotta be part of all the social medias, like what Holler said.
Yeah, definitely follow and share, of course. And, just going in, there's going to be a lot more tournaments coming in, so it's good to get as much of the announcements and everything that's coming on in terms of Honor of Kings Esports. It's going to be great. Okay, But now let's go back to the game here, right? I think for this game 3, I think Team Vitality need to do themselves a favor and ban out the Shangguan themselves so they don't potentially pick them.
Yeah, that's one way to go about it. Or, you know, they have the first pick this time, so, you know, pick up the Lady Zen for yourself. You don't ban it. You know, either force Team Secret to ban out the Lady Zen, or you pick it yourself. You have the first pick. You have that advantage in the draft, having that first pick. So we've all seen Lady Zen in her full glory, and so far she has 100% win rate when being played on the blue team. So this time, I mean,
okay,
Vitality, they're playing on the blue team. This is potentially the last game of the tournament. This is the time to bring out all the stops, and you know, you either ban it in the first phase or you don't ban it. Let Team Secret ban it out, and you know, potentially move on from there, because in these 2 games we've seen the power of her.
Okay, yes. The power is just too much. 81% win rate, highest picked throughout the entire tournament. At this point, the win rate is getting higher and higher and higher. I do not want to see Lady Jean in my ranked games. So what do we do? Who do we petition? Who do we talk to, Zero?
I mean, you just have to go with the flavor of the tournament, and it's fun to see. I mean, in season 1, it was just Princess Frost every single game, and I was talking. Me and Blam, we were talking about why is nobody picking Lady Zen? That's the next best thing to Princess Frost, and now Lady Zen's taking the spotlight. So next up is going to be Zhou Yu. So when are people going to start picking up Zhou Yu?
Yeah, soon, hopefully. We're gonna have to change this one up. But of course, this is gonna be game 3. The draft is gonna be starting things out. The Da Chao and the Elaine ban from Team Vitality. That's an interesting one. But they Team Secrets are gonna ban out the Kaiser. We've seen you know, Shanks play that one 2 times already to somewhat limited success. But yes, he was tanky. He wasn't the weakest link, I would say, in that draft. But it looks like Team Secret are respect banning here. Your thoughts on that ban?
Yeah, it's I mean, definitely, you know, in Team Secret's roster, there's so many heroes that they can play and have performed very well on it. You can't really ban out all of the heroes, so you just have to pick the best and ban the best in that specific scenario of the game. You know, how the first 2 bans have progressed gives you a bit of information, and you just have to work with that in towards the next phase. Arlie finally sees the light of day, being picked up here by Vitality, while Team Secret goes for the Dalia and the Mai. Get to see a Mai in this series as well.
Okay, all right. Mai, I expect Lung to kind of it's kind of go with that one. I think Mai has a lot of outplay potential. Again, we'll see where the Mai ends up. But the Main and, of course, the Arlie pick, Team Vitality really sticking to their guns. They've had some success with the Arlie in the past. But again, very sticking with Team Vitality's MO of being somewhat damage dealers, but very mobile, squishy ones tends to be, again, what they're trying to aim for. But they've had somewhat limited success. That said, it looks like they're going to pick up the Lady Jean, hopefully to just steal it away from Team Secret at this point.
Yeah, and also it bolsters the team fight. You know, that's what was missing in their previous 2 games. They had no way to really have any form of team fight control. The Lian Po was constantly banned out. Zhang Fei was on the enemy side. They didn't pick up the Dun. They picked up the Kaiser as the jungle, so no team fight at all from the jungle. This time, having the Lady Zen really helps tick that box, but they still need someone else to be in the front lines. For the Main, needs too long of a building time to get to that point, so their jungler needs to be something that's faster. It needs to be something like the Dun, which was picked up there by Team Secret. It needs to be like the Zilong. It could be the Ada if they prefer having that as well, or even the Sun Ce in the jungle could be exactly what they're looking for.
Okay, yeah, I'd be okay with that. I know that you don't like the Dune. The Dune pickup here by Team Secret, though. Tell me why you don't like him. Is it because he's got gray hair and he's an old man? You're just not into old guys, or what?
Yeah, I'm definitely jealous of the hair. But all jokes aside, I mean, Dun is just such a one-dimensional jungle, and you know, he doesn't scale well to late game. He doesn't really provide damage. The only thing that Dun is really good at in the jungle role is providing crowd control and support and stuns. But then there's other junglers that does the same thing, scales better, and doesn't become such a piece of dead weight in the late game. Like Zilong, like even like the Musashi or the Ukio Tachibana, you know, those can fit in the exact same role, just better than the Dun. But so why pick up the Dun?
Okay. I think like at the end of the day, you want somebody kind of tanky who's going to be the focus of the enemy team. So I see potential in it. I'm a Dune believer. I know that might be, you know, that we might not be friends after that comment.
Blasphemy.
But I think it does have some potential of play, right? We've definitely seen some success with it. I believe in Team Secret, so I think that we're going to see the more positive sides. Hopefully, we'll be able to change your tune as well by the end of this game.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard. I mean, 2 seasons of the Dun hating isn't gonna change overnight. But hey, you know, we've seen, like you said, we've seen players play Dun or teams. Actually, it's a very team-based hero that your entire team composition has to fit around it. We caught the end of the draft. It was a Mozu and a Neza. Last 2 picks there by Team Secret, while Vitality had a Direnjie as well as also last year I didn't catch that. Oh, it was a Charlotte. So Team Secret going all out in the early game. They've got the Dun, they've got the Mai, they've got the Direnjie. They want to finish this off early and make their way for their dinner appointment. But the Vitality, you know, much more team fight this time. They're not gonna make it easy.
Yeah, definitely not gonna make it easy here. But okay, do we think? Okay, but Team Vitality has had 2 lineups in games 1 and 2 where basically it was very difficult to play. It was tough. Is Team Vitality sticking with that, where this is still like a difficult lineup going against Team Secret here?
It's much easier to execute. I mean, you've got Moses, very simple hero, target and stun. You've got the CC provided by them. You've got Lady Zen, so you've got plenty of CC this time, and of course Neza, a very crowd control heavy jungler as well, and less reliant on farm. So definitely they've dumbed down their lineup, which is going to allow them to focus more on the gameplay itself. And yeah, this is a much better draft for Vitality compared to the first 2 games.
Okay. I think that, yeah, they just need to make things a little bit easier here. But Mimosa here, okay, it has the Peacebringer, which is like this dash. It's got a little bit of a knock-up. It has a cannon blast. It can kind of snipe things out. I think that we need to expect Benji to really start off with some good cannon blast for any sort of team fight, especially mid to late game.
Yeah, it also provides vision and a little bit of damage over time. Not the biggest of deals, but hey, it's just one of those supports that can do everything except heal your team. Right? It's a more greedier support. It doesn't really do much for the team outside of providing CCs, but it's deceptively tanky with the shields it can put up, and I definitely don't hit the pick.
Oh, it looks like Yuhan gonna run away. Okay, Flash. This is probably the more basic of the spells. If you're looking at it on all sides, on both sides, excuse me, they have 3 players each with it. Basically, it just teleports a short distance in the target direction. Greatly used you can use it aggressively, or more probably the most used when you're in a bad spot. You need to get out of there. Got to dodge over or flash over the wall. Definitely something that you want to do. And Flash, very important spell.
But very long cooldown on this spell as well. So every time you want to use it, you have to think of the other potential situations you have to be in. But most of the time, when you're panicking, you just flash back and hope that saves you.
Yeah. Or if you're fat fingered like me, you just hit the button accidentally.
Then you flash forward. And
I flash forward. I was like, I needed to kill that minion. All right, but here we go. The Ocean of Tears, it's going to connect onto him. They do have the knockback. They're going to push him back. CT Boy taking a lot of damage. They pull back. TNX is actually going to be the first to fall. They do get something in return, which is, of course, Nighty and CT Boy, all at the cost of TNX.
Good flash from Highland being able to get out there. 2-for-1 trade. Not the best of deals there for Vitality. But hey, it was a 3 versus 4 fight. You gotta take what you were given, and yeah, like their team fight has significantly improved in terms of Vitality just by having the proper heroes for those team fights. And sure, they lost out in that trade, but it could have gone way worse without those showstoppers of ultimates.
Yes, for sure. And Team Secret here, already with a 1.3k net worth lead. Okay, can we talk a little bit about Loong here on the Mai? Played pretty passive in the last 2 games in the sense of just like kiting people from afar and just raining terror, so to speak. Just kind of like orbital bombardments left and right, just doing a bunch of damage, right, on the Lady Jun in the first 2 games. With the Mai though, and is it like it's a completely down. I mean, Lung obviously able to do it, but are you okay with that?
You mean as the pick in this? In
as pick in my
right now.
Yes.
Yeah,
does it synergize well with the team?
Yep, exactly. It fits very well in the team. They don't need more damage. You know, you've got the Dun, and you've got the Dun as well as the Charlotte. You know, being the ones to go in first. You know, and now you have your mid lane that can do the same thing with the displacement of the ultimate. Go in, get a kill, get out. That fits perfectly in what their composition is built to do. But the kill from 90 is actually absolutely huge onto his long.
Yeah, gets long there. That's going to be pretty good. But you know, again, CT Boy getting killed here. I think they'll take that trade. Lung, yeah, it goes down, but TNX is still alive and has the level lead. I think that you play with your players in mind, best interest, so to speak. And TNX is essentially your carry. You want him to just kind of control everything. The fact that he's able to just, you know, move across the map and just make things very uncomfortable for Team Vitality. It's a great spot to be in, especially if you're Team Secret here as they take the Tyrants.
2,000 net worth lead in 4 minutes, definitely nothing to scoff at. It's gonna be substantial, especially when they're playing with such an aggressive lineup. With the Liren Jie, with the Dun, you need the net worth lead at the start, because these two heroes don't really scale that well towards the late game. The Mai as well, I mean, the Mai can do decent with enough items, but otherwise, you know, when they're too squishy, when they're not really bursting people down, that's when it's dangerous. Top lane, Shen gets a kill on those 90. Oh, huge backline. We're talking about the Mai and the ability to get a kill. He gets 2, and we'll be able to back off as well. Long gets a double from the back and almost gets the RD.
Oh, the flex there. Lung just making plays throughout. He's just like, okay, I can do whatever is required from me. Now, this net worth lead, 3.3k net worth lead already, okay? Team Vitality, what do they need to do to get themselves back in this game? Do they need to, like, rob a bank?
They need to start playing more on the side lanes. They need to push out the waves, especially with the Mayin. Here we get to see the kill we missed out here in the top lane. That was a Shen solo kill on first 90. You overstayed his welcome. You got hit twice. You know Shen's coming for you eventually. So yeah, like they need to play on these side lanes. They need to play, push out the side lanes and get pickoffs with the Neza. They get a pickoff onto her Sun. Absolutely huge pickoff. That's going to give them a way back in this game. Now they just need like 6 or 7 more of these.
Okay, yeah, 6 or 7 more onto Sun. I think that they'll be fine in that case. Great pickoff, still definitely behind in terms of lead. But you look at Team Secret, they're like, okay, soon to go down, right? At the end of the day, we're still in the enemy jungle. We're still in the, you know, the driver's seat, so to speak. And I really like the way that Team Secret are playing with that lead, making it very uncomfortable. They have to fight, they have to spend everybody, all 5 members, just dealing with this. And Dune, oh, TNX, he's going to be pushed back 1 versus 5. He's continuing to fight, but he eventually falls, and Highland will take this one. Okay, and now you compliment Team Secret, and they do something silly like that.
Yeah, good call there from Vitality, you know, moving the main, making sure that they have the numbers advantage going to the fight, and a very well placed ultimate from Lady Zen, something they were missing completely in the first 2 games. And they slowed down the tempo, they slowed down Team Secret. The network is plateauing out so far, and you know, that gives Vitality a chance to come back to this game. They just need to keep stalling, keep farming, get items on the Arlie, get items on the Mai, and go towards that 12-minute mark with at least even items, if not ahead.
Yeah, look, again, every single golem that comes out, Team Secret contesting, forcing it out, soon all the way in the front line, pushing them back, making it very difficult for Nighty, who does get the launch up, but it's 1 versus 3. They're looking to turn this around. Nice cannon blast, keeping them alive and slowing things down, but Team Vitality have to back off. They can't deal with anything, and it looks like the top T2 is going to be taken out. Team Secret, oh, and gets the snipe out. Shanks is down for the count.
Yeah, he really just can't take the man fight with the Charlotte right now. Charlotte is just such a strong clash laner in a 1 versus 1 situation, and Mai not that much. She kind of wants to get in, go out in fights, go for just burst amount of damage, and when you're 1 versus 1, you don't really have the opportunity. So it's a completely different playstyle. And Team Secret getting that numbers advantage immediately goes for the mid tier 3 tower, and it's almost down actually.
Almost down. They did a lot of structural damage there, and just forcing it again. Team Vitality playing very defensive, and that net worth lead is just grown, right? They've taken it out, they chipped it out, and they've taken, you know, the enemy jungle. They've taken everything from them. I think the only thing they left behind was like the toilet paper in the bathrooms.
and they're gonna continue to grow on their net worth lead and pressure across the map as well, focusing on the Shadow Overlord this time. That's gonna allow them to push up to the high ground. Probably gonna send a top and push the mid and the bottom lane out towards where they can meet in the high ground, and also create, you know, a three-way diversion where, you know, where Team Secret can dictate where they want to go, and Vitality has to play from behind and try and defend the best they can.
It's tough. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about earlier about how to get back in this game and pushing the side lanes, but if you're looking at what's happening is that they're afraid to go out. Like Benji's caught out here. He's just trying to defend the lane, soon taking a decent amount of damage with the Ocean of Oddity, or Ocean of Tears, excuse me, and he's going to be pushed back. Sun taking a lot of damage, but he's going to turn this around. CT Boy is down. Benji is as well, and that's 2 for 1. Loom down did go down in the end, but TNX still up in front, does have the Wind Slash. He's going to tank this tower. And with this Drake and this minion wave, it looks like they're going to take the mid T3 at least.
She's going down bottom lane.
Oh.
Very decently pushed out, so that's great for them. 2 kills going towards the way of Vitality. Is it enough at this point? It might not be, but they at least are able to stop this push, stop Team Secret from going for the jugular, and hopefully get a better fight in the upcoming ones.
Want to push them back, just make it, you know, try to take whatever space you can do. I like whatever you can take, excuse me, from Team Secrets. But again, they've just been surgical, right? TNX playing, you know, focusing it on this Tyrant here. Any sort of gap, any sort of objective, Team Secret are on top of, and it's just very uncomfortable if you're a Team Vitality fan.
Yeah, it is. The fights are definitely getting harder and harder. The net worth lead is still 8,000 towards the side of Team Secret, and they're trying to give chase. Charlotte flashes forward, but a nice ultimate from Lady Zen, as well as the most of that fight they need. Shex to get a kill onto her Xuan. Long caught in the back lines behind Neza as well. That's not a place you want to be in. 4 versus 1. They get the kill. Lady Zen in trouble, but it's still a positive trade here so far for the side of Vitality, and they're going for more early.
Oh, Tian.
So good in the movements. Nice block coming from Yuhan to keep TNX alive. They still managed to get the blue buff out of all of that, but hey, it was a 1 versus 2 trade. If you're Team Vitality, you'll take that any day.
Yeah, TNX was so low. Yuhan right there blocking it, just diving in front, sacrificing the body to ensure that he keeps TNX alive. I think again in my ranked games, my support would have avoided that and let me take that shot into the dome.
Really play well there as a team to just limit the bleeding. But here this Tyrant going down, 90 gets it, and won't be able to get back away in time. Arlie very mobile as well. That just leaves the Neza to fight for himself. CT Boy can't really get out of there, but hey, they got one objective. That also means that they get to slow down the game a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more, but not so much in terms of push, right? And at this point, Team Secret, they're like, okay, yeah, you can do the damage, but you're still squishy as ever. We'll deal with you. And they're going to continue to push here. They've got the minion waves. They've got the end game in sight. They're looking to close this one out into as quickly as possible in terms of this game 3. They're pushing. The Ode is going to push things away. The Ocean of Tears, just a landmark at this point, but they're focusing on the Crystal. They do get in for this one. Loom does get the kill on the Shanks. He's going to be killed. Highland is as well. Now they're turning around because they don't have any minions. The whatever pulls him back. Loom is going to be killed. And now with the base, still waiting for those minions. They're going to kind of prolong, but Benji not in a great spot all the way up in the front. He's been focused, and soon we'll take this. And now with the minion waves crashing, CT Boy being focused, he's going to be killed. Nighty is down for the count, and they're going to clean up everybody. They're going to take the base, and of course they will take Game 3, Team Secret with this sweep.
Team Secret moving on to the top 4 in such a dominant fashion, was never behind in the second and third games, and managed to stall out the game in the first game. Really an impressive performance from the Malaysian squad, and sadly we will lose our only European team in this tournament. Vitality will be saying goodbye to the team in Malaysia as they will finish off in the top 8, but hey, they still qualified for the Esports World Cup, so they have something to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely a lot to look forward to. I mean, there's a lot of things that they can watch and check out the replay and then just learn from this, right? This is one of those moments where, hey, yeah, we did some things, and in terms of just like shoring up some of the weaknesses that we showed and let Team Secret get back into some of those games. But nonetheless, let's see what they have to say to Team Secret. Here's
we'll wait for the entire grid to be up here. You guys back with me on live stage here. Choo-choo. Congratulations again for Team Secret of Malaysia. Okay, I'm gonna use English first and then we'll translate. There's gonna be a lot of translation going on. But first and foremost, I think it's gonna be coming out from the side of TNX. TNX. Okay, first and foremost, you don't forget your smite. That's good for you. And then for you yourself, because I think he got quite an MVP here today, do you have any favorites for the heroes that you played today? And why do you love to play it so much? Do you want me to translate? You want to say in English? Okay, okay. 没关系，没关系。啊，今天你没忘记你的成绩是吗？还好，还好。然后就是有要问给新的玩家，在外面才刚刚，好像我自己也是新的玩家，对吗？所以你自己比较特别喜欢的英雄是哪一个英雄？还有你有没有对他们有任何提示还有技巧吗？
那个露露吧，比较简单粗暴。放技能就可以杀人了。
哇，其实这个吧，让玩呢你怎么打？好像我自己不会打，你教教我可以吗？
这个英雄会点技能就可以杀人，真的，1、2、3。
Okay, so basically, he's like Nakolulu is actually very for him is super. 对你来说是比较简单是吗？尤其是新的玩家，
我觉得
很复杂
4个人都可以玩的英雄。
Okay, so basically he loved Nakolulu. So he loved to play this hero because one of the many reasons it's a pretty straightforward full damage hero where you can actually just hit and slash and that's going to do the work by itself. So it's basically doable for everybody out there. So Nakolulu, it's going to be the choice of the hero. Now, 队长 Okay, for the captain, the next question. Congratulations on your winning here today. But it's not going to be easy. For the next stage, there's going to be you versus either VKS or Kagendra. So which team do you want to fight against between these two teams? Now, 下一个阶段对吗？你们可能对 VKS 或者是 Kagendra。如果你自己来说的话，你比较特别喜欢对哪一队？下一个阶段的话，
我比较希望打 VKS。
为什么呢？
因为 Kakendra 我们已经尝试过了。
哇 ，VKS 还没是吗？
对。
Okay, okay. So I asked another question for the captain himself, which was Yuhan just now. I asked which team he wants to fight again if he get to choose for the next bracket, VKS or Vivo K-Stars versus Kagendra. He definitely wants to test it out against VKS. They never tried to fight against VKS before. They definitely defeated Kagendra in a scrims or a different tournaments in that terms. Now, 最后就是你们的粉丝有什么要说吗？尤其是马来西亚的粉丝。
谢谢大家，就是支持我们，然后就多多给我们鼓励，谢谢。
还有没有了？有一个小爱吗？有没有一个小爱吧？全部一个小爱，对你们的粉丝，全部给一个小爱，你们的粉丝。Come on.
谢谢大家，谢谢大家。
So that's gonna be. We love you guys for all the fans out there for Team Secret have been supporting them all the way. But congratulations again for Team Secret. We're gonna toss it back to the casters. Casters, take it away.
Thank you so much, Choo Choo, for that amazing interview. And we're going to be going into this one. I think Team Secret was just like still business, right? The business as usual. We understand how to close these games out. It's going to be very easy for us. But they were very professional. 3-0, made it quickly in time just for them to get a quick dinner as well. So Team Secret really just understanding what their priorities are, right?
Yep, absolutely. I mean, they didn't mess around. They played for the win in every single scenario of the entire series. You can see, like, even if these players are very young, you know, they are very mentally mature in terms of becoming a professional, and you know, they respected their opponents and played to their best, which is what you will want from your opponent. And yeah, now they're in the top 4 of this in the Season 2 Invitational, and they're going to be facing, like what Chuchu said, it's not going to be an easy opponent. The winner between VKS and Kagendra, both of them are very tough opponents to face in the next round, but hey, you have to beat the best to be the best.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And do you think that Team Secret is probably going to want to play Kagendra again, seeing as that they have had some success with them? They understand what they 2-0'd them, right, in the groups.
Yep.
Is that something that you would want to do if you were Team Secret?
definitely will give you a little bit more confidence compared to facing the defending champions, who also went almost a flawless group stage. They only dropped one map in the entire group stage. So Kagendra would be the easier choice, but sometimes they like to challenge themselves. You know, you want to face the best, beat them early, so that you go into the next stage with a much easier time and also just more confidence in your team.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And speaking of confidence with the team, look at this. Team Secret here, almost 4 out of 5 of them with 8,000 net worth or up. Yuhan, obviously the roamer, he's going to be kind of lagging behind and probably scolded later for not keeping up on the average level. But that's the typical Asian dad comment there. But if we're going to go into this one, like, you know, I think that they played well. Everybody was kind of, you know, sharing the wealth, understanding the limits, and just this team is really starting to gel. And going into top 4, I think the timing is perfect for them.
Oh, absolutely! Like one of the hiccups they had coming into this tournament was that, you know, you got 2 players that hasn't really spent a lot of time with the rest, like Xuan, TNX, and Long has been playing together in the team for a decent amount of time, so they work well with each other. But then you have you have your farm lane and your roam / support not on the same page. But if you look at today, their performance, they look like a very well-oiled machine, and that's, like you said, the perfect time. So.
Yeah. They're just like understanding, hey, it's like somebody's dying, and like soon got caught out elsewhere, and they're like, okay, we have the rest of the 4, we're gonna push elsewhere. We know how to do the objectives. Just really, I mean, it seems silly, but like, oh, one guy died, but we can take things elsewhere. But this is just like the discipline. Like, it's instead of being like soon dying and be like, oh, we need to back off now that we have only 4 for 5. It's like, no, actually, we're strong in other areas. And Team Secret here, just like, again, had an early lead, knew how to take it over in the mid game. I mean, there was a little bit of a dip, you know, at the what is this, the 6-minute mark here, but at the end of the day, they knew how to close things out. Again, it's going to be a little bit of a, you don't want like a huge roller coaster where there's like these massive dips and these, like, you know, the fun free falling parts. You want things that are slowly like going up into your favorite and excuse me. And Team Secret really doing it well, and again, showing just why they're this monster and 3-0ing Team Vitality.
Absolutely. I mean, Team Secret, nobody expects them to be this strong. They came from the last chance qualifiers. They lost out to LGD, making their way to this tournament in the Malaysian qualifiers, but they still made it here. And the MVP for game number 3, going towards the way of Xuan. I guess there is an argument for TNX on the jungle as well. But, you know, obviously I do prefer the Charlotte, because I would never want to see a Dun getting the MVP. But hey, Shin played fantastically in this game, got a lot of solo kills on towards both Arlie as well as the Mayin, and a very strong showcase of this hero.
Yeah, very strong. I mean, 615, that definitely helps. The KDA just kind of pushing things along. Again, just really well played. I think you could have given a couple of other people the hero as well, but if we're just going to go down to it, I think the KDA just kind of, you know, is the last piece of, you know, evidence you need for Swan to ensure that he gets this one. And a great play game on the Charlotte here, just cleaning up, getting a lot of solo kills as well. But let's check out some of the highlights for Team Secret. Again, I think it's the highlight reel for Team Secret at the end of the day.
Yeah, but if you notice a pattern in their highlights, their replays, it's always Team Secret in their enemy's jungle, really pressuring them early, making them take these fights where a lot of times they don't want to take these fights. They want to, you know, play a bit slower, you know, they want to do their own things. But when you're constantly in their jungle, getting the timing of the golden respawn, getting the timing of when the rotations are going to come in, that's going to give your entire team so much information. And Team Secret really playing this to a T. Absolute perfect early game aggression. Here we see the Mai Shiranui being able to get towards the backline. So much potential on that hero. I really love to see a little bit more of it. But yeah, like Team Secret, the MO has always remained the same. Play aggressive, play in your enemy's jungle, force the fight to them, and get the snowball and end the game from there.
Yeah, and yeah, for sure. Just, I mean, this is one of the fights that kind of wasn't great, but all in all, I think at the end of the day, Team Vitality really just kind of were forced back to play Team Secret's game, which is not what they wanted to do. TNX, I think he does survive at the end. Oh, yeah, with which Yuan just kind of jumping in front of that bullet there for him. But Loong, again, showing his flexibility, being able to play almost any of the heroes. Gets caught out there because there's no minions, and Nighty with a nice whatever play. But it's a tough situation, right? And I think even if they won this team fight where Team Secret lost this one, I think Vitality would have had a hard time just coming back. It's just such a difficult situation for them.
Yep, absolutely. At that point, it was just Team Secret's game to lose. But they didn't lose, and now they're in the top 4 semifinals of the Season 2 Invitational, awaiting the winner of BKS against Kagendra. And that is going to be happening tomorrow. But today we still have one more game on the stream on this quarterfinals. Next up, we're going to have Loops facing up against Impunity, and tomorrow LGD going up against All Gamers Global as well.
Yeah, and Loops here, of course, with the first place in Group B, going up against the second place of Group D in the Myanmar squad, Impunity. Impunity had a lot of tricks up their sleeve, and it's going to be a fun one, right? They're going to catch some teams off guard. Are they able to play to the high level of, the LGD and Team Secrets? I'm thinking so, because of the fact that they're very clever with what they do and how they draft and their play style. So it's going to be interesting. But first up, they've got Loops from Brazil. I think that this is a very strong team. Vivo Kid Stars as well as Loops, both being like some tyrants in the Brazilian scene. So seeing them at this level, of course, we want to see both teams move on. But again, only one of them will survive.
Yep, absolutely. It's the nature of the beast. It is a tournament. It is one of the biggest tournaments in the Honor of Kings competitive circuit this year, and only the best team can win. Then next matchup looking like a doozy. I mean, both teams have showcased, like you said, some very interesting drafts, some very interesting gameplay as well. And again, this entire clash of regions is always an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, and it's going to be the most interesting of like people being like, oh, if I'm from Malaysia, I'll be like, oh, we have the best Honor of Kings region. We have the strongest teams and the players and all that. Or, maybe is it Brazil? I mean, they still have 2 squads left, and obviously one of them needs to kind of survive at least this next one going up against Impunity. Loops Esports here, there's going to be a lot of pressure on them to perform and make sure that they can kind of carry the Brazilian flag into the semifinals. Yep. But Impunity is not going to be an easy team to go up against.
Yeah, not gonna be easy. They have some very interesting pocket picks. They like to pick up the Dharma. They like to use very flexible supports as well, whatever they need to fit in that existing situation. So it's hard to draft against Impunity because of how flexible their players are in terms of their hero pool, and that's gonna be the next game, Holler.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the next one. But first things first. If you're at home, get yourself some pop, get yourself a new drink, get yourself refreshed, because that series is going to be coming up. But first up, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Oh, okay. All right. Unfortunately, we're going to take a little bit of a break after. Apparently, somebody went to go get their popcorn now, and there's going to be a little bit of a delay. But let's go into a break coming up right now.
Congratulations, Team Secret from Malaysia!
Vitality bakal menewaskan Boom.
Kemenangan Vitality!
Son, tidak asing lagi. Habis!
我觉得我们的队伍非常足够去跟别人对打。
不想对到老干爹吧，跟 TS， 感觉这两个队，以我们目前的状态打不过。
我觉得每个都想打一下，都想试一下，我看看哪个队伍想验一下他们的水平。
我相信我的队伍跟教练们根本是没有在害怕的。
We're very confident that we can bring the trophy on this tournament.
Kemenangan untuk pasukan Loop.
sentimento agora de felicidade, que a gente meio que chocou pessoas que acharam que a G que ia ganhar, então acho que a gente vem assim e eu me sinto bem feliz com isso.
Obviously, it was a very tough journey. We have very low time to adapt to, so obviously it's just a honor and a pleasure to know that all our effort has been worth it.
不认识，一个都不认识，所以说没什么道理怕，你知道吗？干就完了，别让我拿到我的绝活，不然有你们好受的。
Então, o recado que eu deixo pro próximo adversário aí é que é bom se preparar, porque a gente não vai ter piedade de ninguém aqui.
给他们准备一个 surprise。
Through the ages, two opposing sides have fiercely battled for a power that granted them life, but cursed them with ruin. Wait! Oh, no, this story is too cliche. Maybe we can find inspiration from other stories. Hey, that might work. Got it. This story is adventurous, but lacks excitement. How about this one? This is too much. It needs more fun. How about this? That's enough! Like the thrust of a spear in battle. No one can tell my story but me!
I'm born to stay, ayy. It's my chest and my bonus play. Can't be late, won't hesitate. What do you say? Grace to find my face, scars to find my skin. I can't convince them, please, I'm illicit. I'm the one that you hate. H-E-R-A, doing it for real, I found my goal. From the ashes, I rose again. Blow it around, we'll make them crumble, make them run. It's go time, knock me down, so I rise. An inspiration, I know I'm the one who go bottom up, nobody gon' do it. Facing our face, we don't think we just move it. No, we the best, so we don't gotta prove it. Somebody test me, I swear I'm gonna lose it. I got a trophies on this boom and illuminate. Another day, another win. You got the power to turn around. Ain't got a champion, give me last. Work hard, calling out for the game. This all. Work hard, won't you yell out my name when I sing a song about it? Won't
it down.
You want to be strong? Learn from the pro now. When you're attacking a tower, you might accidentally target an enemy. Or when attempting a tower dive, you end up targeting the tower and minions instead. Professional players execute such impressive moves effortlessly. While you may feel overwhelmed and get killed by the tower, your control settings might be holding you back. Change the recommended basic controls to advanced. This activates extra basic attack buttons for minions and towers. Turn on Show Enemy Avatars to accurately select the enemy's avatar for the kill, and better assess vision exposure. Give it a try and play as smoothly as a pro, easily crushing the enemy faction. Learn from the pro. Learn more from Honor of Kings Global Esports.
Right now, Danny going in the lead.
Well, confidence by Fang. Fang doing the time damage from Danny as well, taking down the win sheet as well. Niap is looking.
We've sent one team home already in the Honor of Kings Season 2 Invitational, and we'll be saying goodbye to another. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Zero, and of course joining me with Howler, and we're going to have another round of 8 match happening in a very short while. It's going to be Loops going up against Team Impunity, and they are going to have the match of their lives in this best of 5 series.
Yeah, for sure. Loser is going to go home. Unfortunately, they're going to go directly to the airport. Do not collect $200. They're just going to go directly there. But unfortunately, it's going to be one of those teams. And of course, it's a best of 5. So definitely both of the teams are expecting to put their best foot forward. And mind you, all of these teams, they made it here. They're the top 8. And because of that, they're going to be going to the EWC, which is, of course, going to be in Riyadh. It's going to be the Honor of Kings Invitational Season 2. The top 8, all of these guys in the knockout, they're going to make themselves there. So it's going to be super important for them as they proceed in the Honor of Kings esports realm.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, they have been able to perform at their best with the Infinix GT20 Pro, which is among the first smartphones to fully support the Honor of Kings in 120 FPS. So these players are playing in a very smooth gameplay. So if you want to experience playing like the pros, get yourself one of these Infinix GT20 Pros.
Yes, definitely. So all of the players are playing with it, and actually they're very fast. They have like a bunch, the FPS is crazy. They're very responsive, very nice phones. So definitely check those one out. Of course, you have a chance to win some of those prizes if you just follow the HOK Global Esports page. All of the different Twitches and the streams that you might be watching. All you need to do is follow and share, and then you have a chance to win those prizes as well. So maybe you have a chance at winning that Infinix GT20 Pro. And it's the easiest way to win.
Absolutely, don't mind getting my hands on one of those. They also respond to whatever's happening in game. So if you get a kill, you get a double kill, you get a first blood, you get a first tyrant kill. The phone flashes differently, and that's a very interesting flex that I would like to get my hands on. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that'll be super interesting, right? But okay, it's gonna be Loops. Impunity, the squad from Myanmar. Loops is, of course, from Brazil. This is going to be going into this one where, Loops is the top of the squad in terms of Group B. They were the #1 positioned. They showed up and they just beat everybody in terms of All Gamers Global and R8 Esports, and they were the top dogs. Impunity, on the other hand, they had a little bit more of a difficult route because they had LGD in that group. They lost 0-2 against them, but they ended up pulling it out in a Game 3 against RRQ where they won 2-1, and they got themselves in this one. If we're talking about this series alone and just the two teams, who has more pressure, Cyril?
In terms of pressure, I think Loops has the more pressure. I mean, they are the higher seeded team. They have expectations of them coming into this tournament. Season 1 was dominated by Brazilian teams, with 2 Brazilian teams in the grand finals. Here, they have that expectation of needing to perform as well, if not better, than how Alpha 7 and VKS did in Season 1. But they've shown that they are able to perform at the most crucial points, and it's all down to these players. You got Mitty on the roam, you have Zere on the farm, you also have Kang playing the mid. He's a very impressive player, and Tempest on the clash lane as well. So a very star-studded lineup hailing from Brazil, and definitely they are facing more pressure, despite not really having a lot of the crowd against or for them here in this round of 8.
Yeah, and Brazil very strong. I mean, they have 2 squads here, Vivo Kid Stars being the other one. And there's a lot of expectations going on to them, and to see exactly how they perform on the international stage, getting themselves into the top 8. Yes, it's a success, and it's definitely a win for them, but they want more. If anything, I think that there's going to be a lot more pressure onto Loops. But they're going up against a formidable squad. And of course, this is the Myanmar squad. This is going to be Impunity. They are a tough one as well. The MMKH qualifier here. And Black Ashing. And of course, X-Hero in the mid lane. Zhao Lin on the farm lane. And finally, Megumi on the roam. They really gel well together. Impunity Esports, very strong team.
Yeah, they've been playing together for the longest of time. They've been playing qualifiers and actually qualified for a couple of the KICs in the previous years. So definitely they have the bulk of they have a lot of experience playing together as a team, and as an organization as well has been very supportive of these players competing in the Honor of Kings. So no stranger to the stage. They also have arguably the tougher bracket compared to Loops, so the seeding might throw off the audience a little bit if Impunity goes on to win. But they arguably were in definitely the tougher group. You've got RRQ, you've got LGD in that group, and coming in second in that group was is a lot. It's something to be proud of as well.
Yeah, for sure, and they were ecstatic right after they won and they qualified when they beat RRQ. Obviously, winning any sort of best of 3 in that final game is a huge moment for you. It's got to be sheer happiness and a lot of delight getting themselves into this one. But if we're gonna talk a little bit about Loops, here's gonna be the lineup here, right? And it's gonna start off. It's gonna be Tempest, ABH, Kank, Jerry, as well as Miffy here. This is a very strong team. Brazil has very good teams, and Loops has one of the strongest ones in the world.
Yeah, they qualified to the Season 2 Invitational through the
Okay, I'm back. Time for the game that we are waited for
at
the
many
whole
times,
day.
even in Brazil's team, they looked like they were able to
Impunity Boys
against the likes of Vivo Keith Stars.
There's something
so
wrong with my
definitely
webcam.
someone to look out for. But Impunity is looking to give them a challenge here. You've got Asing, you've got Black, X-Hero, Shaolin, and Megumi. Plenty of experience within those 5 players.
Okay,
and
I'm back.
Looking to make an upset over here.
Yeah. And not just more than an upset. I think they want to make some waves, right? I think they want to go in. If they happen to win out this one, they're going up against potentially the winner of LGD Gaming and All Gamers Global. And I think that if
Hello, fam. I was buying food and I came back just in time.
They definitely want that
time for the match that we
For the game that I'm actually waiting for.
It's interesting that
let's go, baby.
The teams from the same group that fast, but hey, you know that's you gotta do what you gotta do. Both these teams play very aggressive, but they also have very long
okay, we got a
games as
better
well.
team.
Oh my
It's an interesting spectrum to be in.
DPM we have higher, first blood rate we have higher, but average heal we have lower.
Hey, honestly, it's low-key 50-50, you know?
Idea of how to play
yeah,
the
this
game.
is
That
a like in
definitely
terms
not
of
easy.
these statistics that we are looking is a 50-50.
The teams
But
are kind of geared for it, and some teams are like not,
let's not
really
forget
sure of what they need to do in the late game, right? Once they get there, they're
Why?
like, okay, well, this is
for
actually
group
very different.
stage,
Itemization is not as
like
important.
for us, we were
and
up
if we just
against
lose the team fight, we
LGD,
just lose the game.
and
So we have to play things a
we
little
were
bit.
also up against RQ.
It's
For
good
Loops,
to
they
get
are
that
against
experience,
AG,
especially early in those group
and I can't remember the other
It
team.
is harder.
But they lost too fast, chat. They lost too fast. Kidding. I love you, but yes. So in terms of grouping wise, I would say IMP's group was definitely harder compared to Loop's group.
And the
So it's and the stats tell it. So Jack, we'll have to see who wins here. And the draft has started. Oh my god, right? IP will be banning the Luna, and Loops will ban the Hino because they know that Black's Hino, the force to be reckoned with, guys.
Gotta do it. I mean, this is pretty much it, right?
Yeah,
I always
also,
think game one is kind of like the tone setter. You want
he's jungle up, not jungle, man.
You need to ensure that you
Try all my camp to do
you don't wanna
mukbang,
be behind,
imagine.
so to speak. It's like going
up
into a
to
fight.
you.
If you
That's your
want to be the
style.
one that
As long
gets
as you're not
that, you know,
streaming
the
at my
nice
end.
heavy punch to
Yeah.
kind of start things off.
But-
as opposed to being punched.
I want to watch the game, bro.
Oh, we're in a fight.
But there's one thing.
Yep.
Keep your
I mean,
munching
starting off strong is
softer. I
definitely,
do not want to hear the munching. I'm gonna be
definitely
hungry.
the best way to go. And both these teams, they are looking.
Okay, you won't hear. I'm a very soft eater. Hey, IMP,
And they
Shaolin.
1 second you're like
No, I won't, guys. I won't. Well, but Shaolin will be picking up the Ali.
Okay.
How does he feel about the Ali, by the way? I never seen him play before.
Oh, in the qualifiers, every time he get the Ali, he's the MVP.
Loops doing their homework. They saw.
Ooh, chat, you hear that?
With the Hino.
100% win rate, they say. Damn. Alright, see how it goes. And Loops are gonna pick Mai and Zhang Fei, so very solid draft for both sides here. Both sides kind of like 50-50 in terms of draft so far. Ooh! Black gonna be picking up the Mankey though. Okay. Has Black played the Mankey before or no? I don't think so, right?
I think he did play once in the qualifier, but given this lineup, it's still pretty balanced because we do know that like the number 1 will be the Ali. That said, so having a tank jungler definitely will help.
And
especially this kind of tanky junglers, right? Mine is like like so sick of it because you can't burst.
Yeah. Chat, I play Mai and when I face tanky jungle, bro, I just cry, man. He's so tough to fight. I want to burst people, but there's no one to find the burst, chat.
So
Alright, and looks we're picking up the
aggressive hero like the Mai.
the Dama, alright. Pretty
But
solid pick.
definitely in this draft, right, that we
at
are seeing so far, Luke definitely did very in-depth research on us. Because
Definitely.
Megumi has one of the highest like Zhang Fei pick, and Smite is so accurate. He always steals from the opponent's jungle.
Yeah, so definitely picking it up and denying Megumi the Zhang Fei is really good. But chat, you guys are forgetting. Megumi still has a lot of heroes, such as Dahlia, which is just got banned out, unfortunately. But if he got his hands on the Dahlia, I think
there's a Da Qiao Gong Sun Li combo.
True. That is the open. That is the open, which just means that you see this is how big Megumi's support pool is, and they'll be banning out both marksmen of Lady Sun and Yunse. So the marksmen, all marksman heroes are really limited now because these three are the main sort of carry ADCs that we've been seeing throughout this whole tournament. Chat.
If I'm Loops, I'm gonna leave my jungle pick to
you have a lot
last
of mobility,
pick.
you have the potential for
Yep.
damage.
Yeah,
If
so
you're looking more on the
marksman,
Luke
let's
side,
see what.
you know, not
I mean,
really.
either marksman or
I mean, the
jungle
Mai,
also
assuming
can,
you have the
but
control like you were
I
just
would
But I'll
prefer
prefer the
leaving my jungle to get
marksman.
bursted.
Yeah, I prefer picking the marksman right now.
Yeah, because
But they don't go for it, they go for the Nurcha, okay. So this 100% gonna be a Nurcha jungle, and leaving the MM for last pick.
So what will be the mid and support coming out from
the
Invi?
counter to the Arlie, having
Well, I'm guessing the support is gonna be Da
Basically-
Qiao.
chase her down, lock her down.
Probably. But mid actually still have a lot of options open, to be honest.
He's able to just stick to your opponents, kind of like a
Mid,
Kaiser,
let's
where
see.
he doesn't rely on stuns,
There's
but
Wang Tao
instead
Jun.
relies on being able to
There's
constantly chase
Zhou
down.
Yu.
Uh,
To give more like what you call it.
like the Arlie, like the
More
Marksman.
control.
Usually this is the counter pick.
Yeah, more control because there's a lot
Neza
of plays
lot
they cannot
less,
really step,
just because
and
of,
there will be a free
the
hitting for
scaling
Ali.
of Neza isn't that
There's
compared to,
also
like, the Kaiser, but it is a lot more
the-
faster paced, which is
Oh, okay, there's Frost. Yeah, we forgot about Frost.
Okay.
And Megumi.
I said Wang Tao Jun. I forget that in global it's called Frost.
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck is that? I never seen it. But Megumi picking up the Lian Po. So how do you feel about the Lian Po and Megumi instead of like a Da
So
Qiao?
going into this one where you're kind of like, this is
Still
the
okay
counter
because
pick.
they just
With
want to be
Neza,
very tanky
it seems,
and just throw my
all the stars
away.
need to align properly to make sure that
Yeah,
you
true.
counter the Arlie because they can just kind of
And-
Chat.
and control the game.
Yeah, if I was playing my here and I look at this lineup, I'll be so sad, bro, because Ali, right, can dash around and then like I cannot catch her sometimes, and then Frost has that shield, so I can't fully burst her. I have to get rid of that shield first. So for Mai being first pick here is gonna be really hard for her to play. And you pick up the Marco Polo. Okay, that is like I think the fourth most picked marksman in this tournament. I think.
Both of them jump towards the back line.
If I'm not wrong.
Off the Arlie in a single blow, and maybe the Mai.
Guys, my watch party host is gone.
But the game plan is obvious
Wait,
here
I'm
from the side of
sending
Loops.
something
First
to
one down,
the
take the
Cambodia
feedback.
Oh.
Control it to provide a lot of. I mean, this is assuming that they are able to create a lot of space with Mai and Neza just kind of being in your back line. So to
By the
speak.
way, guys, I probably won't be looking at chat that much because I'll be just focused on the game.
Or Sherry
And
here
Makaning.
just kind of get that
And
space
Makaning,
and
yeah.
farm because at the end of the day he can control the game. So now that we know the draft, we know the
Okay,
players.
so what were
again,
you
I'm gonna
talking
ask you,
about?
Which one? Which of the teams
Just
Nah,
is easier?
I was just talking about like
I'm always going to be favoring the ones with team fights.
how the Mai is gonna have like a damn tough time against this comp
Definitely, mine
because he
is gonna
can't
have a hard time.
because he can't burst anyone like nicely, you know. It's always like a dirty burst. If you know what that means.
Yeah,
But in terms of draft, who do you think will win? Who do you think wins?
It definitely depends on the level of mastery from coming from
you
the Nata.
overcommit on a single kill, you don't get the kill.
Because if
then
Nata does,
there's no way back for you.
it's still a
You are
relatively
all
new
in
hero
at that point,
and
so
like
easier
without sufficient
execution
practice,
and just the
some
just a better
players
draft
might
overall that I
just
feel.
misuse
We're not used to it. They will not used.
It's going to be interesting because I think that's going in. I feel like
But
drafts are somewhat
in terms of team fight potential, I think IMP definitely wins team fight wise.
you know, player movement and the overall play.
Post-4 still need to see how, because the marker and
yeah, so I like
combo.
in this case, like if you're looking at Megumi just kind of creating
see
space,
whether does
I think Impunity need to do that a little bit more.
does
They need to be
Impunity
a little
give
bit
the
more
chance
aggressive to
Loops,
ensure that they've got
because
a
Dama, if
lead
he
going
can't
into
have,
that mid.
he has a very good entrance.
If they get a
It's so
or
gay.
even if they just
Right, if Dama
match the tempo
is
that
being
Lux
zoned
is
out
trying to do,
and
then
doesn't
they're
have a good
really
flank,
good going towards them.
it is as
But
good
if
as
they fall
nothing.
behind too much,
The Dama basically be useless lah.
Yeah.
start to snowball out of control here.
Actually, same goes for Mai also. Mai also needs to have a good position in order to have actual
Okay,
impact
so now
in
they're
the
diving in
fight.
for the Charlotte. Oh, okay, Nercha stops the ulti.
Scales very well
Eh?
towards the
Am I-
game,
am I behind?
very well in the mid and early game, and almost
No,
impossible to
Check.
catch.
he was showing the ulti,
Because
but
she's
I think
just
you
so
didn't see it.
elusive with the parasols.
Oh, I was eating. What's your time right now?
My time is 150.
Going all the way in.
Oh, mine's 156. Oh, and Arsing actually gets caught out in the top side. Good, good gank from that Mai canked over there. Okay.
Probably
Arsing being a bit deep in the top lane versus the Dama.
Yeah, Kion 2 to 3 at the top, so yeah.
But it got caught out a little bit too far away from the tower.
And but in terms of lane matchup, who actually wins though between Dama and Charlotte
Get to that level 4,
in a 1v1 situation?
this is the moment.
My
where
opinion is
it's
Charlotte.
solo kills.
Ooh.
I feel like Ashing was just kind of like, help.
Damn, that's kind of tough that Arsing died there,
I
man.
got you, fam. I'm just gonna kill this other
A
guy.
bit
and then I'll be able
unfortunate.
to help you out.
But they have too many
But
people at the
Ashing does
top.
go down. It's
True, but
the
like,
first
no, I mean, but
day.
before that though, he already traded quite hard though.
If they're gonna
I think.
put pressure on the bottom,
That's quite, it was quite low when I looked at him.
Sherry as much,
Yeah, but
I was like, oh,
like,
damn, he traded.
kind of keep
there's
themselves
the
going.
anti-heal coming out from Nercha, all this.
You know, is Barco Polo
yeah.
the way they want to go, or should it just be some maybe ABH to kind of carry them throughout?
It's
Okay, a little bit of a lead for Loopson, eh? All good though.
Yeah, the first blood is not bringing them having too much.
It's not that much value yet.
Deals a bit of damage, provides
And looking at the Ali,
some good
he
stuns.
definitely knows
But
his
outside of
position
that,
when,
most of the damage,
when there's
most of the
any
initiation
farm
has
that
to
he
be
can go
around
for,
ABH,
he
so
will
you
go
wanna
for.
make sure that
Even
you
going,
know,
Yep.
you know
will he
ABH
be going
has
to share
a
the
good game, just setting
jungle
up
with
rotations, just setting up ganks for them,
Black?
and
Yeah,
just
let's
don't
see
look
later
like-
on.
here because Neza doesn't really do
Doesn't look
Post
like
for
that
me,
yet.
so you
maybe
gotta play
post,
around
post for me.
at
Maybe,
least
maybe.
one point.
And this time round,
basically you're
I
saying
guess
Sherry is
Arsing
pretty
has been
much
shouting
a
for help
glorified range.
And X0,
Yeah.
has a stun.
X0.
The force is up there
So
helping already.
he can provide
Mhm.
something to the team.
No, totally understand.
Alright, Arsing is back into the game.
So much time to kind of get to that level where he can just kind of.
But
you know,
the first
blow up the entire
Dragon
fight.
or Tempest will actually
Let him
do a
get
lot
space and
for this whole
get
game.
himself, you know, in a good position to carry late game.
Who Arsing top side?
He needs 3 items. He needs to get
Nurture out.
to that point
Doesn't
where he
land.
starts actually doing a lot of damage. Top lane, Tempest dropping down.
Okay.
There's a rotation
Axio
up, but
being
that
forced to flash,
coming from Axio
but
out of danger.
a little bit of a small trade for the Nurture ultimate.
Wasted rotation from the side loops. They don't get anything out of that. They don't get a tower.
But you
And,
see,
things
like
continue
why
to
I
slow
said
down
like
a little bit, which
Xiao Ling
will
is very
benefit
confident on
Yumi
the
for
Ali.
now
You can
as
see
they get
he's like
their
having the
next items
1v2 at the
to
bot
boost
side
up the next
with ease.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, very, very easy for him.
Or the Skyfall, excuse me.
But
I mean,
I think something Loops is doing wrong here is I don't see this Zhang Fei invading a lot though. Even though he took smite.
in the mid lane or anything. So at the end of the day, not too
Like
bad.
he's just been babysitting the
ABH, I feel like there's
Marco
gonna be
Polo
pressure on him to
majority of the time.
movements, force Impunity
Yeah, that
to
could
kinda
be their
react to
own
what
game
he's
style.
doing.
True, but then like that you don't take
Take a lot of
smite, right?
space, and getting
You
into
prefer another spell?
calls that
Like
only
disrupt or heal?
notice
Disrupt or heal,
is gonna
yeah,
be key.
yeah, correct.
Absolutely, he needs.
Okay, Dragon wise, we have Mankey starting it up already with Lian Po backing him up. So look like first Dragon will be given over to Impunity.
First Tyrant finally attempted a rather
Yeah.
late attempt on towards the Tyrant.
Very, very free Tempest. No contention whatsoever. And Xiaolin differing. This Marco Polo already pushing down the first turret all by himself. Got them.
Some decent objectives across the map.
Oh,
I mean, taking the bottom
bit of an aggressive play from Xiaolin by
Black
backoff.
was able to solo
Looks
so
like
providing
Luke's
a lot
not
of
going
space
for any type of trade,
to make moves elsewhere.
but they did force Asing out of their top side tower and get it, so that's not a bad play.
a little bit more defensively,
at the same time,
and they're just kind of
we
hugging their
still
mid
managed to
T1,
trade
just
for the
trying
bot.
to stay alive.
Mhm.
yes, Loops has taken the top T1 and putting a little bit of pressure for Asing to
Yeah,
that rotation
but-
that way.
but
again, I think
honestly, I think the top side tower being down is more of Asing just wanting to play it safe and being poked out a bit too much.
It also
Yeah,
doesn't
because
feel
the
like they're
mine
down
Kion
1.3.
comes
They are
over
the
and
ones
without
playing
the
their opponent's jungle.
Yeah.
Black
Tower,
being
yeah,
in
mine wouldn't
nuisance here,
come out
trying to
as
steal
much.
the red, but
Mhm.
his 3 heroes not going to try and go for it. But just creating
Okay.
pressure
Look at
across
how Black opened up the map for
the
them.
enemy
It's
side of the
always
map.
so safe.
And Black being there knows that hey,
Yeah.
there's 3 heroes in
Oh
top,
my
you
god,
can
Dama
missed that
farm
ulti.
however you want in the bottom. You're being safe, and that is going to propel the early to a much better farm.
Okay, X0 outing the bottom lane.
Yep, pushing in.
And poor outing onto Changfei. No engage though. All just retreats.
Yeah, that is
They'll be-
just to have a retreat.
Just to disengage for this
Yeah.
again. Mankey outing into 2, into 3, but no engage as well. It's just a random engage, no follow up. However, they maybe wanted to get the mid tower, but a bit too rushed from Black, I would say.
Feels a little bit too forced here for Impunity. They're not in the best of positions around the map.
I think for our team, they are just trying to bring out the tempo and push faster. But that was a very
Yeah.
more cooldowns here for the side of
engage
Impunity. They
coming
were
out
looking
from
for
Black.
more, at least get a kill.
It's too
and
rough.
Not say bad, like miss time lah.
just jump
It's
in.
miss
But
time,
a little bit more,
let's say.
a little bit too early, but looks like they are trying to force it once more.
Okay, so a little bit of pressure given to both sides. The goal lead, almost just a 1k lead for Loops, but it's not that much. That's just for the first blood. And 1k in this time of game, it's not that high lah, to be fair.
Well,
Single target
not
burst
only
that
due
they
to the
try
first,
to
but I
execute on
think there's
is not
some
gonna be
farming problem from
great
the
if they're
start
taking
of
behind.
if
So Impunity has
Yeah, definitely.
always out.
I mean, okay. I think it's mainly based on X Hero because he's playing more of a supportive mage compared to the Mai, which is a aggressive scaling mage, you know.
But technically, Frost should be easy to kill with.
Yeah, but I think he's trying to like support his teammates in side lane, you know. Maybe that's why.
No, at first the first part only like
Loops
have
getting gone on
300
here
gold
with the
and
Magma
just see
Slam,
slowly
finds
Loops
ABH. He
having
takes a
more
lot of
gold
damage, but
left.
leaving Savior with the shield will keep him alive. And it looks like Loops, again, just backing off, just taking...
But maybe it's because of Black, because I see the levels. Nurture level 12 and Black is level 10, going to 11 only. That might be the issue.
Yeah, I think Black is slightly
is
slower
again
in terms of
enemy
farming.
jungle. Revius being, like you
Yep.
said, the annoying furball that
Maybe a bit lost.
Okay, meanwhile,
At some
Xiaoling
points.
is taking out
ignore
his
him at the same
flash
time
tower.
because he's not really
Yep.
doing anything. But he's just
But Dama will be taking up the bot side tower also.
Loops is trying to answer.
Oh, a bit of an engage onto Mako.
The other side of the map.
Lampov figures out though, you get taken down. This is a bad fight for Impunity. Xiaolin also taken down. Actually, this might be a wipe out. Asing being taken 1 HP has to flash under the tower. And it looks like, even with his out, he will also go down. And it's a wipe out for Loops. So Loops playing the fight very well. Kiting and kiting. And Megumi taken really low, and then the Hamako Polo was just free to go in and fight and wipe everyone out.
Yeah, the A
So-
shown I
with
think
a
was the
single
wrong team.
skill and then the follow
Mhm.
up from his ultimate just basically killed 2 heroes. Huge
What do you think
pressure,
happened
setting up the
for
whole
IP to lose that fight so
and that
badly?
allows
Megumi
his
was
team
too
to
rushed.
also
Yeah.
get the tier 1 in the mid, tier
Without
2 at the bottom,
sufficient
and do some decent
vision
damage to the
going
tier
in,
3
opening
in
up
the
that
bottom
fight.
lane as well, propelling the lead to 4,000
Hmm.
after a very slow mid game.
Yeah, what a
Okay, do you think it's still
It's one thing to like
winnable
lose
for
a
MP?
team fight,
Still
but then
winnable.
you
Winnable,
lost
yeah.
the entire, the entire squad, and that turned into way more
Let's see
than
this
just,
fight, though.
the 5 guys
Cause
that were
the
killed.
later it is
But let's
Oh,
check
yeah.
out this replay here. I mean,
what you call
Megumi
that?
thought he was going in and thought he could
Mine
get
will
onto
start
zero,
to
but
drop.
he just turned it around. He
Drop
just had
off,
the
right, yeah.
damage,
Yeah,
just
but on
controlled
the
him,
side
and
of
Loops was just
everyone
all
still
over
can
them. They were
steal.
like,
Mhm.
just chasing after them 5
Black
on 1, not letting
needing to
Ashen get
out out.
away,
Oh,
and he
gets knocked back and he falls.
ace there.
Unfortunate.
That's gonna give them the early lead that we said.
Will Nurture
Loops
fall?
actually
No, he won't.
needed
He
that
actually
because
leaves.
they
And
put them in a
ooh,
good
this
position,
is
and
not
that
good.
gives them another good fight here. X Hero, Black, and Asing all fall. Shaolin will fall
And it's another
very
ace
soon as well.
for
and that
Loops.
just
11-0.
versus 5 against the world. Can he survive?
Hmm.
No, he cannot. Kanks.
Forcing another
Gets
fight
the
when you're
last
down that
another
much.
ace, a back-to-back ace here.
That's
for
not
the
good.
side
No, but
of
why are they
Loops.
still
Unfortunately,
showing
the
him
bottom
as
lane
the
is a bit
ace?
too far out, but they
I don't
will
know.
still be able to get the mid tier 2. It seems
Who knows?
Continue pushing down the bottom tier 3 tower.
Okay,
By getting ace twice, ooh, that's
It's a
rough.
second ace, right? They got
right
him
after the
back to
first
back, right after the first one, and it looks like Loops are just like, okay, we'll take whatever you're giving us, which is everything, and we'll continue to take the second time. And you know, Impunity are like, hey, if you die, we're gonna die together. You know, it's ride or die together.
Ride or die.
Yeah, probably a bit overzealous at that point, trying to get themselves back into the game. They could have played across the map a little bit better. Don't look for fights so early on, because you know you can check the items of your opponents and you know that you are 4,000 or 5,000 behind. It's time to slow down the game, not look for another fight.
By the way, you can just keep
After
talking.
you
I'm just
lost the
eating.
fight.
Yeah.
I can't talk.
But
I can eat.
it's an
he's
awkward
dropping off for the
situation
side
right
of
now.
Saudi.
I mean, look at this.
Not having that
you know,
much
here
farm
he
now.
has 9.2k tops
9.2
across the
against a
entire game.
7.6.
Completely. I mean, so many kills already. He's 4-0-4. Just he is not the guy you want to be giving any sort of farm to. So Luke's right now in a great position.
Yeah, he has all his core items already.
This farm with this lead is a crazy hero.
It's gonna be hard
scaling towards the
if we are going to drag it off.
You don't want
Let's
to play with
see
that.
how
He's just
we
so
can drag it
mobile.
off,
He does so much
especially we
damage at
still
the
have the
range.
frost to.
And pure damage also just melts through the Lian Po, melts through.
What an overextension though.
Gets a kill onto Shaolin. The marksman is down here for the side of Impunity. They lose the mid-tier tier 3.
They were way too offside there.
Not looking good here. 4 versus 5.
No doubt.
Net worth difference. No other way to defend except with their bodies here. They do.
But honestly, they still defendable, no? They have Frost and Lianpo.
Actually turn things around, but they had to take an almost perfect fight.
Lianpo I would count already
Almost perfect
because
one, and the Resplendent
Oh,
Revolver.
yeah, he can't tank a lot. They're behind quite a bit.
Damage
He's
onto
behind
Black.
to
They're going to
tank.
use the Umbrella.
Yeah, he'll just die for the wave, I guess.
Lane of retreat, trying to
Yeah,
knock
this
him
GG.
out. And it looks like the Tremor.
Game 1 loops, guys. Unfortunate 13-0. Oh my goodness.
Wide open, the dream roam, but he just
They have
runs
to
away.
fix
He
the
defended, and they
plan
take
and
game 1 loops.
you know,
Very
or 14-0. Okay lah.
Talked about that.
I guess the last kill, maybe the last count, the last kill counted. I don't know. Never see.
Can really bring the lineup, and they turned
14 or
it
15
up a
lah.
notch. They went from
Oh,
0
yeah.
to 100 in the span of 2 minutes, and
Around there lah.
they were able to just. That was the.
But that was a fast game though.
The shortest snowball in the history of snowballs. It was. It grew to the
But
middle.
Yes.
The team
Oh,
just
they
need to
good.
reset their mindset. It's still a
Mhm.
best of 5. There's still
could have handled
chances.
that better, but
There's still 4 more games, guys.
For not letting
But
go
it
of
could
be
the
three.
They just went for it once. Went
Yeah,
for it
cool,
twice,
yeah.
And just took
Yeah,
the
we
win
can
from there.
just
Great
give a
first
one
game to
kill,
start
one
off,
win over.
to start your series off.
Lower
This is
their
gonna give you so much
what you
more.
call it?
Actually,
Gut.
it kind of didn't feel like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Luke
check.
did
Gut, and
anything
later on we
special in
just
that
have
one.
to
Not to take anything away from that, but all of the
Check.
fights where
I'm being just lowering their gut
trying to
first.
go in and
That
Luke's
was
just
what
like, oh,
happened
okay, we'll take this one out, we're
with
getting
RQ.
ace, right? And then they were just
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
again,
yeah,
And
yeah.
then again, Loops is just like, okay, we'll clean them out again. You know, first time, second time, however many times you want to come at me, But we're just gonna continue to clean you up.
Yeah, it
And
was an
Loops just,
easy
like,
game
cleaned up
1.
that game, and they just
I won't doubt.
easy game 1.
Yeah,
Was an
definitely
easy
think
game
that
one for
the
Loops.
loss was more on
But comeback is always possible, guys.
Outplaying them, jumping the gun a little bit. They had the better late game team fight. They had the better team fight. So why take team fights that you're not confident in and trying to force things?
Yeah,
Maybe they
Megumi
saw
and
that
Black
they were
was trying to
behind
force
and,
things
tried to
way
even
too
things
much.
out with a good
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, unless
A bit
you
too
have
rushed
fight
from those two, I think.
Those team fights are not going to go your way.
The
Let me
toughest thing
count,
about this is that
Yeah,
you know,
15.
Impunity was trying to force it,
15?
trying to do a team
Yeah,
fight.
2, 4,
And then they were
2,
just
4,
kinda
3. Oh, yeah.
sorted, right? Loops had the answer for everything. My worry is that even going into game 2 and 3,
You know what, guys? If you get
if
nothing
you're in the same
and it's
situation,
a like
they go for it again.
one-sided
This is
game,
gonna shake up their confidence.
honestly, just laugh
I
it
know
off
that this is a long
and then go
series,
next.
the best of 5, but it's something to consider as you know Impunity go on in this.
Go
series.
next, guys.
Yeah, it might haunt them in the upcoming games.
Pretty sure y'all can hear my
you
chewing.
need to reset. That's where your
GG.
coach,
No, from the start I can hear. That's
needs to
why.
come in and try
Oh.
to instill that mindset of
You say
one
you're
game at a
soft
time.
butter.
Just
I'm like,
forget
okay.
the past. Try your best
Okay.
in the next game.
I did not be eating bread, okay?
Take one step at a time. Like you said, it's a best of 5 series.
Like, bro, I did not be
There's
eating bread.
of more games to really play here for Impunity. They can't really let one
The
loss
fuck?
create that doubt, create that division in the next upcoming games.
Oh, okay.
Man, it was kind of wasted also, man. Because Xiaolin was having such a good
Impunity were
time
all
in
like
laning.
0-3-0, 0-4-0. I was like, oh my god, this is like my rank game on my side. Like this is the same KDAs. But let's go into a little bit about the actual stats here. We're talking about the damage taken. I mean, or the damage dealt.
This is
Community
pro,
side, really
man. This is
not
pro.
too much. 47,000 from the Shaolin. I
No,
mean,
because
he
they
was
have
kind
been
of
doing
out of
that
position
since
at
the
times,
start.
so that's
Yeah,
not really going to scale too
maybe.
much.
Even
But
when
Loops, on the other
difficult
hand,
game, right,
a
they
little bit
also
more
have been
balanced.
saying that.
Kank,
So
and
I'm
of course,
like,
Sherry just cleaning house. So to speak.
This look like my rank games.
Damage there from Jerry.
Yeah.
It all started
Like, bro.
from a decent laning
then it's
stage
like,
followed
oh,
by
you
just
see when
the
one
2
goes
towers
down,
giving
everyone
the
come
lead,
and help.
then that
Why my
that
team
double
doesn't
kill
do that in
in
rank
towards the
outside?
first ace just gave
Can you
too
stop
much of a lead
comparing
for
pros
really
with
for
rank?
Community to come back from.
Like it's different.
In a short
It's a
time,
different
like,
game,
stage, that
guys.
wasn't
Pro and rank.
what they were supposed to
You all
do.
need to
Then they
understand,
give them a
and
lot
I
of
don't think the
benefits,
casters
and,
understand.
Loops just took it away from there. And MVP, I mean, Jerry had an awesome game in this one. You don't really see a lot of Marco Polos really scale to the highest level, but he managed to really carry the game from that marksman position.
Definitely. Totally agree with you. But look at this gold graph, right? You're thinking that Impunity, even with those stats of not even getting a single kill, would have maybe skewed this a little bit more in favor of Loops. But again, for the first 8 minutes or 8-9 minutes, it was just pretty much steady state, or it was very even with Loops.
Yep.
Loops was not really doing anything. And then all of a sudden, you can see these 2 giant humps here,
Hmm.
and those are the
So
two
what do you
that
think
Impunity tried
Im have to
take
do
on, and that's kind of
to,
where it skewed incredibly.
how to say, come back and
Loops here.
aside from resetting
No kills in
their
game
mental.
probably forced, not really forced
Hello?
them, but it caused them to make
Right,
that
yeah.
decision of, hey, we need to take a fight right now. And yeah,
Going
that's-
for a draft
it
like
didn't
that.
bode well for the but the
Okay.
MVP for the
So
first game,
chat, comfort draft, guys. Comfort draft is the way.
the Zhang Fei 2-0 and 10. I mean,
Also, the support is the
you see
MVP,
a lot of
really?
Support MVPs as well.
I mean,
Well, he does have a few nice ultimate.
yeah. I mean,
I play support as well, so
I think Loops
another
just played
support
well
player in
overall,
the
lah. He's like a
MVP column,
team.
great.
The team played good.
And Mithy really showing how Zhang Fei should be
Oh,
played.
yeah.
So seeing
Not
this
like a
one,
singular
you see a
player
lot
is
of
like
him in this one, just
stand out, I would say.
But
But that's ideally what you want, lah, for
if you're looking at what's
games
happening,
in general.
like, look
You
at
want
this.
like
This is
your
where
team to
Megumi
do
went
well,
for
and
this.
just one
Jerry
guy
had that fever
carrying
barrage,
you
just blew up
24/7.
everybody, got a double kill, turned things around, and it just went south for Impunity. As everybody got wiped in, all 5 members from Loop still
My God,
surviving
nice.
and just chasing them down. They don't really care.
Yeah,
They're
getting ace back to back was
Get 2
more
aces
defeating, but guys, it's fine.
Yeah, I think they just panicked. This was the
And I'll be
second
eating
fight
my
we talked
chicken.
about, the second ace that they gave away here from the side of Infinity. They were 3,000 behind. They haven't lost the high ground yet, and the scoreline was 0-5. There was definitely
So fine,
much
it's fine,
more
guys.
game
Go
to
next,
play,
go
but
next. All
jumped
good,
the gun here and put themselves in an
all good chat.
unwinnable position from there on.
And they are still laughing it out.
It might be
so
the nerves. It
still
Yeah, it's
part
good.
of it.
people not
It's
being on
good.
the same page,
Laugh it out.
or it just could be
Bad game, go next.
just-
All good, bro.
Just
Hey, but do you
game,
saw
everybody's
the
getting warmed up,
opening
everybody's
ceremony?
still trying to get into that
Yeah.
groove, and
They fucking hold up the paper, bro.
The
And then they sign the thing.
the side of Impunity.
Oh, EWC? Oh yeah, I saw.
We've learned
Yeah,
that
that's the
Impunity,
EWC.
they lost
Oh, I thought-
against
I thought- huh?
RC the other day. And
That's
they know how
for
to
like
bounce back.
they qualify
I
for
think that this is
EWC.
still
That's what
one that's
every
gonna
single
go
team does.
hopefully more than 3 games.
Yeah, I know, but that was the official
I think
opening.
that this one will go a little bit longer because I
Yeah,
see a
saying
lot
that they
more
qualify
flights
for
in
EWC.
Impunity, being able to bounce back,
Bruh.
right? And that's
I thought you meant the
that's still
official
a
EWC
match
one,
going
like,
into this
No,
one.
no,
The
no.
real game is real.
As in for us,
And,
it's
Loops will
like,
be
for all the
confident
teams,
going into
even
game
other
2, but I think that
games,
Impunity
I
really
thought,
need to bounce back
that I saw
after
for
that game
EWC.
1.
Also did that.
Definitely some things to talk
Ah,
about.
really? Then.
In this short break,
Then.
the coach is gonna have a few.
That's
words.
kinda
Gotta make sure the players
interesting.
are,
I never see that
in
kind of
right
thing before,
mindset,
but okay.
because that loss
Maybe it's
could,
a
could be
culture
tilting to a
that
couple of players
Saudi
on their
has.
squad, and
Maybe,
have to
maybe.
make sure that they
We don't know.
reset, go into
Or
next
just
day
their way
with a
of
fresh
showing
mindset
their
and
own
try to-
exposure.
Yeah, for sure. But
Uh,
I think that if you're
if it's culture, I understand.
knowledge, and I'm wondering
If it's exposure, I don't really get it.
There also, if they're able to do some content creation on their own, Zero, I don't know if you do that as well. I know Blam MOBA does, so feel free to give him a shout out as well as a follow on for him. But HOK, of course, Honor Kings, we're looking for the best creators out there that can understand the game, can teach the game, and can kind of show the ropes because it's very complex. You're seeing it even at the high level. There's a lot of mistakes that the teams might be making, and it's good to kind of get some of those tutorials and those guides and to see exactly how to play, like even the next heroes.
Yep, absolutely. It is definitely look out for your favorite creators, and that's where you learn a lot about the games, learning from better players, more experienced players, and definitely look.
Alright, guys, they're all back on stage. Let's see how this second game and draft goes.
Be an official Honor of Kings creator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like the coaches have kind of given their coach speak. They're kind of preparing for the next draft. There's got to be a lot more pressure on Impunity right now. Again, loser goes home after this best of 5 series. I know Impunity are going to want to bounce back. They're going to figure out. Look at them. They're all very serious. All of them are just kind of worried about this next game. I think one of them has their head down, maybe in prayer. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, this is going to be game 2. It's going in. I know the ban from Loops here.
Yeah, they don't want to give the high note to Black at all.
He's an absolutely scary player to
Black has been playing very well on the high note, so they probably don't want to give it to him.
Yeah, Mai brings their tempo up way too fast in the previous game. That's a very nice ban.
Will ban out the Mai as well as the Luna on their side.
Yes, initial bans. We're gonna see.
And they're gonna ban Xiaolin's Ali.
Initial, okay.
So obviously,
Loops is like, okay.
the marksman for Loop side had a hella tough time dealing with Xiaolin's Ali. Laning phase wise, anyway. Not really team fight wise, because I mean he couldn't do much, but laning wise, yeah, he definitely suffered a lot. So it's a good ban. Very nice pick. I prefer this draft and prioritizing Megumi's hero and putting him on like a support that he's better or comfortable on,
I mean, he's also comfortable with touch, so to me it was kind of weird.
They went Lianpo. Maybe they were wanting to go for like more of a team fight com,
Lady Chen has one of the highest win rate, taken down by the South Loops. I think right now there's over 80% win rate for Lady Chen.
In the whole tournament, right? Yeah, Lady Chen guy have been winning a lot. But right, my rank game cannot win a lot, sia.
No, because
Like
custom team base.
Yeah, I know. I'm just. I'm gonna make it fun. Oh.
Selling on his counterable.
On the Zhang Fei can just pounce on
Marco
you
Polo.
and just make your life miserable.
Rock, I was making fun of the caster, by the way.
The strength
You
of
can
his
tell.
Zhang Fei. He doesn't look like he deals a lot of damage, but when he
Whoa, let's pick up Lady Sanso.
he pops his ultimate, that's when
Mirror roles
why
for both
Zhang
team,
Fei is a
Mage,
absolute
Marksman,
beast.
and the support.
Lady Sun makes her debut
So
today. We've been
the bans here will actually be very important
kind of have
in order to see what they deny. Yeah, but the problem is what heroes. So Dharma will be banned from Loops and Impunity.
Lady Soon, we know that just a lot of potential. I feel like Impunity here
Don't know,
picked the
but I
Princess
would
Frost.
say,
And I always look at this as like a
how I
poor
see, right?
woman's
I think
Lady
Loops
Soon.
will blend,
Like, she's
ban
just
off
not as good in
our
a lot of
Charlotte.
the different things, and I
But-
feel like she needs a little
At the
bit of a
same time,
buff in that sense. But Lady
don't
John is
forget,
just so
Asing
strong.
still
That's
have-
why.
Oh!
So,
Nope!
Guan Yu.
It has been banned out. The Guan Yu has been banned out. And Impunity, Impunity banned out the mine.
They're probably much better than I at playing her.
It's funny because in season 1 we said Lady
But he was
Zhang
doing
is
so well, Charlotte,
poor
yesterday.
man's
Not,
Princess
I mean,
Frost,
2 days,
so
3
how
days
the
ago.
turntables after
Not
the
sure
second
how.
season, how things have changed
Yeah.
in this entire scenario. But
Yeah, who knows?
banning out the Guan,
Impunity, they ban out the jungler
aggressive
or Nurta.
and
To-
they're
to-
gonna
and-
probably
mhm.
going
To
to
let
pick
Xiaolin
up
have
a
a
strong clash
better
on
time.
their own. So something like
Mhm.
Byron, something like Lane, it will be
And Loops
decided here.
bringing up the Elaine. Okay.
Make sure that they
Yep,
win
lane pick
that
coming out
clash.
from Loops. Let's see what we will
Elaine, I mean, you have that mobility, you have that.
So they definitely want a lane counter to the Elaine
Launch him up.
and a good consistent jungler.
He's gonna have a rough time, especially.
Those two are the on top. Okay, consistent jungler one down. Kaiser, really strong jungler these days, and Charlotte. Does Charlotte actually counter Elaine? I'm not too sure.
Tanky, and Elaine doesn't want to
No,
be
to me, right,
focused on, right? So
Clash
John
lane
kind of wants
is
to be that
just
guy.
a mechanic thing.
So it kind of rounds out
Oh.
that draft pretty nicely.
It's like,
So there's no actual like counter picks to hero.
there's no true counter
it's a
for
very
me.
good
Like
draft
if you are like
in
very
my opinion.
skilled in this hero,
Impunity
you can even
doesn't-
counter your
not
counter
doing
because
too
you
bad
understand
themselves.
Wow.
how
Kind
the
of
counter
missing
works.
a more
Okay.
front line. They do
Yeah.
have the
But
Kaiser.
But based on
in
like
that
comfort
role,
wise,
but as time and time has shown,
Xiaolin is
Lucian and Kaiser in the
definitely
jungle,
more
he
comfortable.
a lot in those team fights, so
Everyone
Or
is
Asing,
pretty much
sorry.
countable
they just
on
need
this.
another aggressive jungler.
Okay.
I mean,
So definitely a comfort draft
like,
track.
like Charlotte,
Make
you
those
did
early
see
game
he get
invades,
MVP.
and I think Loops
Yeah, but
up
no,
against
no.
RQ.
But the problem is I'm worried because of last game, you know.
I mean, he
Even
is
Prince
a
of
very
Lanling
fierce
come out
fighting.
here, they go for the Jing,
It's-
and yeah, it's
He's a very
another
fierce
aggressive
fighting
one
kind,
that looks
and
really good in
he
this fight.
easily
I mean,
just
again, Jing
move on.
against Marco.
Oh, okay, okay.
And Dalia, she's gonna have a field day against these.
And Loops picking up the Jing. Okay.
I love.
Well,
Hmm.
let's look at
It's
TBH
very meta.
on the G.
So
I mean,
again,
Chun, most picked,
both teams the draft about the same.
most picked.
Mainly on how they play in the early game.
But has a 63% win rate with 8
no,
games.
not early game. Mid game.
What else can you ask
Mid game,
for?
correct.
Then you put Mithy on the Zhang Fei.
Yeah, basically level 4 very important for
I feel
both
like
teams.
Impunity's lineup a lot more difficult to
Yeah.
play, somewhat squishier. They need to get the right initiative.
Frost level 4 really
right
important.
team fights. They cannot
Very
be
fast
making
play of
the
waves. Kaiser as well. The ultimate makes him really really strong level 4.
The first
Dolia
talked about
Level 4 can be
kind of,
Kaiser
kind
fighting,
of, yeah, pretty much also. And Charlotte, of course, you know how Charlotte works, huh?
easier to execute lineup, and they seem to have an answer to everything that Impunity is.
He basically needs level 4 to be
Are we
useful,
in
I
for a
guess.
quick series again here, Holler, or can Impunity prove us wrong?
I want to see a game 5, man, or game 4.
I want to see this go the distance.
Come on.
I mean, it really comes down to Infinity. They really need to bounce back. Being down 0-2 is almost
Okay.
a chasm that you cannot climb out of. You're gonna
So
have
the
a
Zhang Fei
tough
taking
time.
smite again.
They need to
Let me see if
ensure
he
they have a
invades or
really,
not.
a good early to mid game to kind of just
But
control
based on
them.
what
The
the
play
people
style.
are talking, right?
Mhm.
PT
Just
is
for the viewers who are not
that's
very familiar with
his
a lane,
strongest
why
hero.
this hero is so strong is that
The Zhang Fei?
he
Yeah.
doesn't need any mana. He's
Damn.
very sustainable in the lane. His
Even
mobility is
in
top
some
notch as well, so he's
other
able to get
chat
in and
by
out
the
of dangerous
caster.
situations.
Wow.
When he gets to that 12-minute mark, his combinations of damage and as well as
Okay.
sustainability towards the backline is just so hard to deal with that
Okay,
is
he does smite the mid crab.
most popular Clash laner in this season 2 Invitational.
Very popular. There's just so much potential outplay, right? Has a get out of jail free card if you're using him properly. Just a lot of different ways to kind of, you know, dictate how the team fight goes.
Okay,
right?
this
And,
is a
a
clash
lot of the
and-
static
What you call it?
heroes like Angela really get
Jungler.
punished
Better
for,
of clash and
going up against
jungler.
on a lane. So
Basically, chat is all mechanics in this lane.
Top is going to be where both
Aside from
Okay,
that,
they are
Lane?
holding it well.
Ultimate
They
trying to heat up the
are
best he
good.
can.
lane a bit of an overextended, you needing to use the sprint already. Doesn't use the out though, so good hold on for him.
Yet, so he can to get out of that situation, but the rotations came in vain from both sides. Nobody got any kills, so it's going to be slowing down. For
Okay.
I
Look at the
always find it
Kaiser.
funny
Kaiser's
when
still
you
going
see a Jing like that.
for it.
KBH,
I think
obviously
Alin is gonna out
understanding
away.
how to pilot.
Yeah,
the
has
Jing
no,
properly
no,
knows
don't have
the
it.
main, But
He
I always
didn't.
feel like he's just spamming the button. He doesn't know where he is.
He's just
you know what I mean?
panicking
It's
and just
like,
spamming
yeah, he's
it.
just panicking. Yeah, it's just like
Decides to
just trying
TP
find me
down.
because I don't know where I am either.
Okay.
It probably looks good on the stream. And just, all right, I saw someone do this before. Nah, but he probably knows. He probably knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pro player. He's not just talking about it. All right, but Luke's here.
Arsene
Okay, they
stealing
have
the
slight
picks.
edge. They've been kind of prioritizing
Really good
top
from
lane
him.
a bit.
Really good map
Infinity
sense.
have been just trying to counter that.
And timing.
Realizing that Tempest could have a bit of a good lane.
Hmm.
So Ajing is.
Okay,
kind
looks
of
like
pushing
Tempest
the
also wants to
lane,
invade,
just
bro.
Putting a little bit of pressure.
But might get
Again, I
caught
think
off by
the
Arsene.
tail of the tape of
Nope,
this,
never mind.
the story for this one will really come down to the bottom lane. This Shaolin Marco Polo or the Sherry Lady Soon, who's gonna come out on top?
It's not much true potential until they start really.
Yeah,
moving.
chat. Basically, right,
Charlotte
this game,
along with
the early game, just be prepared to see it
on the ladies' side.
probably
On the other side,
0-0
it's pretty much the same
until
thing.
maybe
Can
about
just move
6-5 minutes around there.
stick towards the Marco Polo to try and burst him down
Cause-
for the kill, but the Dalia is always going to be an
Yeah,
issue.
both teams are probably playing
They kills as well.
really safe and just chill.
No,
We're
no,
looking
no.
at
The
a
decider
rather
will be at
passive
near
early
form
laning stage
3.5
until the
minutes,
4-minute
which is
mark
now.
when they're trying to take the first
Oh, really?
advantage around the map.
Because
But
how they are gonna
outside
set
of
up,
that,
how are
I'm
they
not
gonna
expecting any
contest for the
kills going
Tempest?
on either way unless somebody walks into the
It's gonna
Dalia and tries to
be
pop the ultimate. Nope, looks like AB is
how the
gonna be
tempo will start to
happy
set.
to let her go.
Yeah, but look at Black all the way invading, and
But
as well as the Ashing.
why if they just
no
trade
ways.
the objectives though?
Forcing Tempest to
Trade,
have a little
then
bit
we'll
more of an
drag
awkward
off
going. He's forced
to
to,
the next
kind of
point.
farm under the tower or take
Which is 5-6 minutes, right? No?
just kind of pushing that a
No,
little bit
it's
of
around
pressure in
7
that
to
lane
8.
while
Oh,
the rest
alright,
of
never mind.
Ashing
My
and
bad,
Black
bro.
then go and invade the enemy jungle. taking what they can. So Impunity coming out with a different, you know.
Okay, it looks like both teams want to set up for Dragon.
Yeah, definitely
Yep.
favorable.
The lane not
trade
shown
for
on the map.
GG. They're farming on two sides, they're farming on two heroes, while Tempest
Now
is
shown.
having to
Managed
HP
to
for farm and experience.
Catch 9
Fury,
billion.
much better early game compared to the last. They are still behind by 1,000 gold though.
Still behind, but I mean, they still need to figure out ways to get back in. Impunity, at least putting pressure so that Loops is showing on the map. I think the scariest thing is not.
Oh no!
ABH all of a sudden disappeared off the map. Where is he? He's actually trying to steal your Azure Golem. He's looking to go to Smite.
Kaiser needs that blue buff. Oh, X0?
That's a big steal, taking it away from Kaiser. The Kaiser's not gonna
Almost falls, doesn't
next
have to flash out though.
seconds. Lots of damage being dealt towards X0. He's not falling though. Able to use the flash towards safety. Kaiser rotates towards the mid to try and cut
Very weird
off
gameplay coming
towards
out from
Kank,
him
but
today.
ABH will also use there just to scare him off.
Yeah, just to scare him off, and he's gonna X0 will have to recall back home. Loops have done a great job of just pushing him out of the lane. Sometimes it's, you know, you don't have to kill the guy.
Yep.
You just make him scared, and life again is like a resource. So he needs to recall back, and that's gonna take time away from him. And if you're looking at
X0.
the differential, X0 is level 6, Kank is level 7.
He's out again. Does he leave? No, he doesn't. The thing catches him and Zhang Fei out saves him. But Xiaolin really nice engage. But he gets frozen by the Lady Sun. Does he survive? Yes, he does.
He did push
Thank
him away,
goodness
but
for
no,
Dahlia
ABH
Cat.
does go down in the
Dahlia
end.
got
I
scratched.
thought Mithy had this save with the Unbridled Outburst. They're pushing him away. Oh, but Mithy now, he leaping Saviors back under tower. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
Marksman for the jungle
But
for the mid.
Lady Sun does get their bot lane tower though.
That also means that.
But MB also gets the dragon, so a bit of a spare trade.
Mithy has the smite, yes he does, but he's not going to try and go for it, as Black will secure it with his own smite.
No.
And that
But
gives
Loops get up.
GG
Oh no!
this game. They got a better trade-off.
Xiaolin?
They also got the first Tyrant.
Besides the challenge,
Xiaolin?
that is
That's not.
Feels like
You're not
Xiaolin
expecting
losing his composure.
either of the marksmen to die to each other. They've got mobility. They've got ways to escape. But somehow Xiaolin got a kill with full HP left. So.
That is a disaster at this point.
That's a
Sherry
very
will
hard
continue
time.
to farm. That net worth lead is
Even
starting to grow.
the
It's
side
about
of Lady
500
Sun
already.
double buff.
He's starting to kind of.
oh no, Lee Sun so
separate
fat
himself
already.
from Xiaolin.
In the early game, 6 minutes,
Xiaolin
5k gold.
Walk of shame all the way back to the bottom T2, but he's gonna walk into
Asing, flashing outing in. Asing outing in and gets caught by Ting.
Nice knockup from Asing, keeping him alive. But ABH thought about going, and he does. He gets the mirror domain, and he slices and dices, and I don't know which one is real.
Really fast kill there, but they at least
Chat is not looking good, chat.
slow them down to dissuade them from taking the bottom tier 3 tower. If the bottom tier 3 tower fell in 7 minutes, that would be an absolute disaster for the side of But they managed to hold on and steal 2,000 net worth lead for the side of Loops. Not insurmountable, not huge. And after they get this top tier 1 tower, it should even out a little bit more. But looks like no more pressure coming from Impunity on the top.
Yeah, no more pressure, because I mean they don't.
Oh no,
have
X0.
right? The bottom T2 has been taken as well. And
Caught out on the map.
Kind of dictate whatever fight they want. They've
Made a
taken X0
huge
as well,
miss position
and
from
ABH
him.
has started this style. Like Impunity, all they can do is watch as their teammates die and just try to attack them. But Loops just get in and out like a guerrilla squad.
Apt for a team with a Zhang Fei pick. Here, Zero will be able to get the top tier 2 tower and also get the Sage Golden buff away from the side.
Lady Sun is killing so fast. This
Yeah.
game is
once again.
looking
Kaiser
shaky
is
on the side
suffering,
of IMP.
Yeah.
without those jungle buffs.
If IPM don't make a play
Secure it.
or
Kaiser's not
like
going
farm
to
up
get
or play safe,
reduction anytime soon.
Oh, that's sad.
if they keep making mistakes,
Again, the mirror
this game is
domain. They've got the
GG.
knock-up onto Black. Black trying to
And
get
Lady
out of
Sun
this
was carry.
domain. Tempest is now joining the fight, gets the meteor kill, knocks him up, but Tempest gets a little bit low. The death at sunset. Oh, he gets back to safety, and he gets pushed back. Xiaolin with the resplendent revolver, not going to do enough.
Couldn't really commit for that.
Honestly, Megosmi's reset on
had to back
Kaiser.
off, but Kaiser
Kind of
is a lot more
unneeded.
tankier
Kind of
than
unneeded, no?
Not the top
Yeah.
of net worth. He's
I would
he has his
prefer
top lane
changing it
already,
to
but
let
he doesn't
X0
really have
do more
the
damage.
next tier of items.
Yeah.
He doesn't really do too much damage. He's
But I think maybe they're just looking to disengage. So.
now
Oh, but the thing is, you see,
compared to
looking
the
at
Lady Sun,
Kaiser's
who's already
HP after he threw his first
at
ulti, you know that
7.2k net worth. That
even
is
if he
a
has his
huge,
second ulti, he can't do much.
Oh, good catch!
All the responder revolver right into
Jing
AA.
being caught
Actually,
offside.
your domain,
Xiao
he
Ling,
just
that's
finally
not
gets
what
picked
you
off,
see
and Xiao
every
Ling will
single
get credit
day.
for this one. And
A marksman
Impunity
catching
Oh,
an
wow.
actually
SSC.
deserved that. That was a long
No lah, it was a gang lah.
No, you.
There's 3 guys though.
It's not really a gang. You can see most of the damage is dealt. Like, at least
Yeah, most of it lah.
I feel like 80
It's
to
70-80 lah.
Princess Frost
Yeah,
drops.
all by Xiao Ling.
Winter is coming on towards the tower to try and ensure they get it. But
Okay, Xiao Ling's getting the feel ready.
Zhang Fei will be able to
And
swing
at
by on
the
the top
same time,
lane.
Alin.
Asking, can they catch a lane? No, the lane just... He doesn't have sprint though, his sprint comes up in a few seconds, he has to ultimate.
he does still have
Has a shield, has a CC immunity. But he will eventually fall. Very good catch from Impunity. Asking gets the kill.
no backup. He's trying to survive.
Very, very
on his
nice.
own,
Good
but
play.
Damage from Asing way too much.
MP are slowly coming back into the game.
Yeah.
And looks
this is
looks jungle and looks jungle and Clash Lane making a little bit of mistakes there.
Quite a bit of damage. It's down about to like what 20%.
Both being a bit offside, thinking they have full control of this game, but a bit overextended.
In the other lanes, and now it looks
The
like
wave
they're looking to take the Overlord
management
here
from
by
the south.
Impunity. So
yeah.
space
Who have
given,
some issues.
some other space taken away from elsewhere.
It's okay, it's okay.
No, but why is Black in front?
Gonna provide you damage while the Shadow Vanguard is going to help
Yeah, I don't know.
repair these lanes, especially towards the power.
Maybe he just feel he need to tank all the damage lor, cause he's building tank.
No, but you see,
I don't know.
you're taking the Overlord.
But they're taking objective, he should be in the pit.
Yeah, you're taking of
Clearing it,
Overlord,
right?
you should be.
That was
Yeah.
a pretty good
Unless
sequence
his
of events for
reasoning is
Impunity,
to
right?
zone
The
off
fact that
Zhang
they got
Fei,
the
to
Overlord,
stop Zhang Fei
they got,
coming in.
And smiting, maybe. But we don't know lah, we don't know.
Still very weird.
They're still behind in terms of the network.
Look, it's okay.
These are
We got the Overlord, it's
baby
fine.
steps to get themselves back in the game. Impunity have
That's the main
done
point anyway.
Some decent things in the past
It's okay.
3 to 4
Throw the
minutes.
Overlord
So
outside.
they're
Thanks,
giving themselves
nice.
a chance to win.
Yeah, definitely. It's they are not forcing the issue like they did
Oh,
in the first
this
game.
lady soon gets it though.
In a
I mean,
much
it is a lady soon, I should be
better
expected lah. Huh?
trying to backdoor the tower.
That's how she works anyway.
So that's the
She's
key. The first
very,
game
very
is
fat.
down.
No one can go
Shadow
up against her
Vanguard
yet,
is going to fall
guys.
soon after, basically without
We need to wait
at
for
all. So Lucas
Xiao Lin
is
or Porter, even maybe
in a good
asking to
position
farm
now
up a
because they are
bit.
4,000 ahead.
Oh
And
no.
I think more real estate away, but the Jing
That's not
finishes
good,
off
guys.
Zero. He's gonna fall, and Impunity will not be able to take the upcoming fight. They lose the mid tier to tier 1 tower, and more of their buffs going towards the way of Loops.
Yeah, and this net worth lead is like grown, right? It's 4K right now, but let me just say Sherry actually has a net worth lead of 2K above any other player from Impunity. That's how far ahead he is right now. He's absolutely a monster. You go near him, he blows it up. He backdoors your tower because he has the damage. He don't care. He's 10.4. Look at this. And then next closest, Xiao Lin, 8.3, well behind Sherry right now.
Yeah, Sherry has been playing like an absolute beast for both these games, in fact. And when you give the Lady Sun this much farm this early, you know that you're in trouble. And Sherry has been absolutely killing it in this game and the previous game as well.
Yeah, I mean, the team only has 5 kills, right? Sherry has one of those kills, but, you know, ABH has been doing all of the work, so to speak, in terms of the kill department, you know, 4-2-0. So, again, both of these guys really working off each other, complementing their own play styles to get themselves in this, and they have full control. Loops right now, fully dominant. Impunity have 0 space to work with.
Yeah, they are more or less holed up in their base. Anytime somebody goes out, then they are in danger. ABH took a bit of damage from the Lady Frost, from the Princess Frost, as well as the Marco Polo.
Lady Frost. What are you talking about?
Away from, as Loops poised to try and pressure on both sides. That's going to be the mid and the bottom. And once they connect the creep waves, they might be able to slowly chip away at the tier 3s.
Look at how they've controlled the map. They've got full control, and they just pushed him out. They've got all the way in the front. Mithy is in the front lines. He's like your scout, your forward scout, seeing where the enemy is at all points. And like the minions are just coming out of the base right now. So again, Loops can continue to push. Impunity, on the other hand, all 5 of them sticking together, holding hands, pushing out, and just trying to clear their own jungle. And Black so scared he can't even face check that bush. So again, Impunity right now very reactive to Loops' movements across the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're reacting,
But
you're always going to be one step slower than your
see
opponent.
whether
So
we can catch any opportunity.
Impunity needs to pull out a rabbit from the hat here to try and get a favorable fight going towards them where they are able to secure the win for that fight in particular. But the Tyrant does go towards the way of Loops, and we might see a high ground attempt with this buff.
Okay, the rabbit that's being pulled out of the hat, is it worth 6k net worth? Because I don't think that's going to help them. That's not enough, right? They need more. They need like multiple rabbits at this point.
Or they're going to need a bigger hat.
No, a bigger hat. Or just a fatter rabbit. Is that what it is? All right, but Loops here continuing to just dominate. They've got a 6k net worth lead, pushing it across. Xiaolin is going to recall back to safety. These Drakes are starting to push. And again, it's just they've slowed it down. Loops have nothing to do, like they don't need to force the issue. They have plenty of time. They have full control. They just find that pickoff. Impunity gets out of position with one guy. They turn it into a 5 vs 4. Loops can then just end the game.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what Loops is trying to do right now. They know that they are stronger at this point, so they want a strength test. They want to take it away from Impunity. They don't want to give them more time to recover. And Am trying to end this game right here. Now bottom lane got pushed out a little bit, so Elaine's there to fix it. But once the next dragon arrives, that should be the last tier 3 tower standing. Jing also trying to steal the blue jungle buff. It has not spawned, so he has to play without it for a little bit. But once those dragons reach, that's where your tier 3 is. Oh, Jing going towards the back line. So much damage to Princess Frost, but he manages to stay alive for the moment.
Stays for the moment, but he's going to be down. Ashing is going to be the first to fall. ABH will get yet another kill, rack him up. And it looks like Mithy will go into Unbridled Ferali form. He's going to just kind of create the path. They've already got all of the T3s. It is a matter of time. But it looks like Loops have made the call. They're going to regroup and come back to fight yet another day.
3 to 6 in terms of score. It is still possible for Impunity to come back from this game. The lead is not insurmountable. It's about 8,000 difference at the moment. But without those tier 3s, it also means the creep waves are constantly being pushed out to the front of your base, and you're not going to extend on that lead without making a huge team fight happening anytime soon.
Yeah. And Sherry here, 14.1k net worth. And then 13.6 by ABH. Oh my gosh, those guys are literally the 1%, right? They're super rich.
Yeah, that's all down to just the tempo that Loops had for the entire game. They had what, 6 kills in total. Only two of them were at the 10-minute mark, if I remember correctly. But they've set themselves in a position where they
will take games here.
Clean game here from Loops. Again, another one of those games where you really can't find any fault in Loops' gameplay. It's like they played standard. They played, how you expect a team to play at this highest level, and somehow they are making things easy for them.
Okay, my only fault in Loops is that they need to figure out ways to end the game 5 minutes sooner, right? I think that they were in full control. They were completely dominant, but it's one of those things where you got to close it out. I mean, don't get me wrong. All jokes aside, I really have zero fault or things that I can kind of fix in this Loops, offense, so to speak, because they were just like controlling the game. They were very strong.
Absolutely. Yeah, like it is, their potential last game to qualify for, if they want to qualify for the round of 4. So you can't fault the team for really playing it safe, just dotting their I's and crossing their T's to make sure they make it there.
Yeah, make sure that they do. Yeah, you're absolutely right? Just secure the win. Don't do anything silly.
Yep.
Again, just discipline game, right? Discipline Honor of Kings. Just make sure that you just choke them out when you need to. Again, find those gaps when they do make those mistakes. And Impunity was made some in the very, very end. But again, they just had full control. This is one of those games where they're going to have to look back on and be like, oh my gosh, how do we deal with this Loops pressure? Like from early game to throughout, I think we'll see this in the gold graph. It was just very difficult for Impunity to get anything going.
Yeah, their jungle was just shut down from the get-go. Kaiser without farm doesn't really do a lot, so maybe not such a farm dependent jungle, something that can roam early. something that can get things done around the map. But let's take a look at the final item progressions here for all these players and Loops. What an absolutely scary Lady Sun there. Sage's Sanctuary, you got to add to Torment. Basically everything he needs to end the game and then some on that Lady Sun.
Yeah, and I mean, kill-wise, like, it's one of those things where, you know, hey, we're trying to play better, so we just die less, right? And Impunity was trying to limit that as much as possible. But the macro game from Loops, the control, and just being able to, you know, take the objectives is just really where Loops shines, right? They understand how to play the objective game as opposed to just the, you know, go in and kill everybody game, which some other, you know, players in my ranked games will play.
Yeah, but you know, Loops just very surgical aggression. They were able to just continue on the pressure. You see a lot of teams that do that play aggressive at the start, but then fall off towards the end. But Loops did it time and time again throughout nearly every point of the game, and Impunity just had no answer in their lineup to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're looking at this, I mean, look, Black, very tanky, taking the most on the team, which was to be expected, but he wasn't able to do as much damage in return. He was very reactive and kind of had to build up defensively, and I think that it's more on the lines of Impunity's draft, right? Forcing Black to play like this defensive tank when no one else can do it, it's kind of limiting what Black can do, which, you know, he wants to be able to do some damage and get in the heart of the enemy team, but if you're just taking all the shots, it's going to be a tough time for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it could be a game plan issue here for Impunity. They might have come into the draft thinking that the Marco Polo and the Charlotte will be the main damage dealers, so Black just needs to be a bit tankier. But Shaolin isn't able to really deal with the likes of the Jing and the Charlotte, and you just don't have enough everywhere else. If you look at the damage split, it's just everyone wasn't really doing huge damage at all.
And speaking of the gold graph, went directly in favor of Loops. I mean, just start to finish, just closed out the game. Just very strong, very well-disciplined team, just closing it out, right? I think if we're going to go back to that draft, though, I think Impunity really lacked any sort of control, right? The Jing was just a menace. ABH, I think he was definitely my MVP going into this one because just about how much pressure he put, and he was so mobile. Like, they could not control him, they could not get to him, and you know, Elaine on top of them, it was just way too much for Impunity to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely a rough situation for Impunity to be in right now. 0-2 down. Lady Zen gets the MVP for game number 2. It's gonna go to Clank. 103, not the most impressive scoreline, but hey, we know that the Lady Zen is just more than kills. It's the team fight utility, it's the CC, it's the long range pokes that makes this hero the #1 pick in season 3.
Boo is all I can say. I disagree with this MVP. I think it should have been ABH on the Jing. There was more impact throughout, but we'll see the replay and then we'll make another decision on that one. But ABH, look at this one. He's dodging around, just going from image to image, and it looks like Black is like, I don't know how to deal with this. I'm taking a lot of damage, and they got 0 kills out of that rotation. So it's a time wasted. It was, and they got nothing out of this. ABH, 1 versus 3. I don't care. I'm gonna get first blood. And he does die in the end, but Xiaolin gets him with that Fever Barrage. But still, it's one of those things where look at how much pressure he's put on. Xiaolin is not free farming because of that.
Yeah, it is just too much for them to really deal with. The constant pressure, the diving, you know, you got the Zhang Fei, you got the Jing. They can go in and out really quickly, and the burst from the Jing is absolutely huge. Here's the ABH did fall once, but ultimately, at this point in time, they're still in a really tough situation just because of how the lanes are pushed out and handled, and Loops never giving up any opportunities. They took every opportunity they've gotten, and it's paying off so far. 2-0 for them in the round of 8.
Yeah, 2-0, and they're looking very strong at this point. This is a situation where look at Xiaolin completely on the wrong side. And the rest of Loops is like, okay, we'll let Tempest die, and then we'll just take the base. Like, the base is wide open, and the rest of Impunity are like, oh crap, our base, we forgot about him. We gotta go back, and we gotta defend, and just not quick enough. So Tempest doing his job, even of pulling out the enemy team, just, again, everybody understanding what they need to do.
Yeah, great showing there for the Brazilian side. I mean, I wouldn't say I counted them out, but I thought this would be a much closer series between Impunity and the side of Loops. But I mean, Loops definitely showing us why they are the second best team from Brazil. Sorry, one of the best teams from Brazil, in fact. In this current tournament, and they are looking like they're in a good spot to move on to the top 4.
Yeah, it's about the fundamentals of getting themselves into those situations where how to play with a lead, right? And if you think that you're good enough to take on Loop, you think you can beat out Impunity, try your luck. Go to the Open Series. Of course, this is going to be the second split. Registration starts from July 8th to the 19th. All you need to do is register in the Honor of Kings app. So get your team, get your 4 of your other buddies to sign up. You think you're better than these guys? You think you can take them down? Prove it. Get yourself into that split too.
Yeah, and you know, it might be the gateway to an upcoming budding career for yourself in the Honor of Kings esports circuit. I mean, that's how All Gamers Global made it here to the Season 2 Invitational. They won the Open Series, and eyeballs are on them. But speaking of winning, I mean, it's Loops 1 game away. They are 1 game away from almost doubling their prize pool won so far. And you know, some teams they tend to, this is where they start crumbling.
Yeah, it's tough when you're in a hole. This comes back to the coaching, right? It's just calming people down. It's like, you know, if you look at professional sports today, like basketball, they can come down 0-3 or whatever in like those finals, right? It's because of the fact that they're just like, hey, we gotta like start over. We have the resolve. We've been there before. Yeah, we've lost games, but it's not over till it's over. And Impunity really need to have that same mindset of getting themselves of just like shake it off. Yes, the draft, the play style. Okay, a lot of other things were not great, but let's start from scratch right here and just get ourselves into a 0-0 matchup and just look at it as like best of ones just as we move forward.
Yep. Gotta reset, gotta put 1 foot ahead of the other. Take one match at a time is definitely the mindset they need to have at this point, because one final draft might decide how long can they stay in this tournament, and they just gotta really pull out all the stops at this point. Loops draft of game number 3 will ban out the Hano once again, while Impunity respect ban on ABH's Jing as well as on Luna, and the Ladies Zen will not see the battlefield in game number 3.
Okay, for the record, the knockout stage is going to go all the way to Sunday, so we have plenty more games ahead of ourselves, assuming that you do survive, right? That's the biggest thing. You do not want to go home. This is one of those things where you want to continue. The prize pool is very large, and you want to get your fair shake of it, and you need to survive. Impunity right now, with their backs on the wall, need to figure out some way to solve this puzzle that Loops has been throwing at them, and it has not been an easy situation for Impunity. They need a much better draft here.
Absolutely not. They've been really back against the walls for both the first 2 games, and you know, this is their one last shot to come up with something that can give them a fighting chance. But look at Loop's draft. They've got the Arlie, they've got the Mai. So much aggression in these 2 heroes.
A lot of mobility, a lot of potential burst. To be honest, I think Impunity needs ways to control. They don't have the lockdown that they need. And again, Elaine is one of those ones where you probably want more lockdown on him. So there are definitely some holes in Impunity's lineup. They need to shore them up and to deal with these somewhat high mobile, high damaging heroes that Loops has.
Absolutely. It's they need something that in basketball terms, they need a stop. They need to find a stop right now to slow down the aggression, to punish the aggression some way or the other. And what options are there here for Impunity? Zhang Fei is great to stop them, but he doesn't really... Sorry, he does great slowing them down, but he doesn't really fully stop them. So another big team fight hero, maybe like a Zhou Yu, something that punishes them for running in, could be what they're looking for.
Yeah. They're gonna have to figure out, like, their initiations haven't been great. They've been very reactive to what Loops has been doing. I mean, basically, you know, in simple terms, I think that the initiator, when they take that fight, they will have an advantage, right? people on the enemy team will not be in the right position, all these things. But, you know, as the initiator, if you're like, hey, we're going to go, then everybody's going together, then, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a much better initiation, so you have that advantage.
Yeah, they need something something to go along those lines here for Impunity, whether it is to have a good counter or just a better initiation. So
your favorite hero. This guy's selected. Dune.
I mean, no, the numbers don't lie. Dunn has had you know, a spectrum of successes. He's looked really well, really great, and also looked really terrible in some games. But I think in this draft alone, it does fit into what Loops is trying to do. Fast tempo, fast pace. You got a jungle which provides stuns, who doesn't need a lot of farm, and can really increase the tempo of your team. So Dunn, in that sort of pigeonhole, there's no other hero like Dunn. But unfortunately, that's the only thing he's really good at. So if Loops is drafting him for that specific purpose, then that's the perfect hero in the jungle for them.
Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, Dune has done all right in terms of win rate. I think it's close to like a 53% or something. So, I mean, I can see why there's a little bit of disbelief in him and the potential of it. But I'm looking at this draft now, right, where they finished off Impunity with Mankey and Angela. Angela, in my opinion, this is the worst pick going up against that lineup from Loops. You're going to get blown up by my Arlie, and Elaine is going to jump on you with it every single death at sunset. Angela's positioning needs to be flawless. Is going to be playing scared almost the entire game. And to be honest, Angela should probably go back to the library.
I guess one reason why they pick up the Angela here and not like the Princess Frost or something is that Angela can really punish divers.
Princess Frost was banned.
And you know, with his Blazing Barrage, if she's able to land that skill, that is just such a huge tempo stopper for anyone trying to dive in. So Angela gets a couple of kills early, then you really see that hero start to snowball. She's one of those heroes that really snowballs early if she gets a couple of kills. So Impunity on their last legs of this tournament. Will this be the last time we see them in Season 2, or will they enable us to go to a game number 4?
Yeah, okay. Well, you are very positive and Pollyanna, I would say, on the Angela pick. I'm definitely more negative. I think you're going to have a hard time. I think X-Hero, everything is on his shoulders, right? If he's able to get those early kills to kind of get himself started, because if not, he's going to be chased and it's going to be a rough time. As I say this, Wind Slash knocks up Black. He's getting focused in. He can't get away. Wow. He's going to give up first blood, and Sherry will take this one, and already it's looking in the favor of Loops as they take the Azure Golem.
I don't even know what they call it right now. Silver lining is that they're trying to steal the Sage Golem away. It does go towards the Zhang Fei, which in the grand scheme of things, nothing is basically achieved there for the side of Impunity. But hey, they got something out of that. But you know, Dunn already has the blue buff, so he's not gonna missing that at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's already been stolen or whatever, so I think they'll be they'll take it. But you got to take something back, and Impunity were able to do this. But again, that entire shift off with the first blood and the steal, it's already a 1K net worth lead for Loops. So it's just a matter of time. Again, Impunity need to figure out ways to dig themselves out of this hole.
Yeah, I mean, that was just such a good game plan to start off with. Clear the mid wave with 3 heroes, rotate 4 heroes to the blue buff, and just make Mankey's life an absolute nightmare. And we see here Frenzy, not a very common skill that we see people pick up, but it's perfect there for the Arlie. Speaking of Arlie, he's in trouble, a bit too deep, taking a lot of damage from the tower. Will fall, but not before he gets a kill on towards not towards our Sing. So 1-for-1 trade so far. Can he get something else a little bit more?
Oh, nice trade room.
ABH in trouble. Can he get out? No, he cannot. That was the start that we wanted Angela to have. That Angela needed to have is an early snowball, and that's a great start. Getting a kill on towards ABH, and Impunity is able to strike back and close things out in terms of the network.
Okay, Loops right now, I feel like they're playing a little unconventional. Okay. Tank here, forcing the issue, gets the knockback, and Sherry comes in at the right time. Wow. Kank had the bat signal up, and you know, Jerry comes in at the right time for this one, and the Death at Sunset. Tempest somehow survives under the tower, and it looks like the Scorching Barrage just barely not able to hit Tempest here.
Good movements there. It's just, barely surviving through all of that. Angela still doesn't really feel too bad, you know, just of not getting that kill. Was able to clear out the waves and push out as well. But here we take a look again. Kank really setting things up for the rotations coming in here for Zere, and he picks the fruits of her labor, and propels Arlie to the mid game in a much stronger position.
What a great play for them. I mean, Loops is just like, Kank is like, sets it up. Sherry already behind because he died, and is like, oh, okay, I'll give you this free food. Come and take it. And the timing on that could not have been more impeccable. So Loops, again, just understanding how to play this one. It's a 2 versus 2 in the enemy jungle, ABH. The Dream Roam from Black just to kind of get in under the tower of the T1, but looks like there's going to be a side rotation. X0 looking for that second pickoff to kind of give him that head start that you were talking about, that good lead that you're talking about. But still, he's a little bit behind in terms of the net worth.
2,000 net worth. He needs around 6,000 to really start bursting people down with the Staff of Reprobation. But things are still pretty even in terms of the net worth on both sides. Dunn has to get out of there. And not going to be an issue. Not a lot of CCs from the side of Infinity at the moment. And the first Tyrant will spawn. Oops, trying to secure it, but they do have to play against 2 smites on the side of Infinity.
Oh, nice. Unruly Blade connects, but the Dream Roam gets him out of there. Black is back to safety. Tyrant is about half life. He knocks up 2, and Cherry just steps away, and ABH will take the Tyrant, gets the smite. He's got the fastest fingers. The Meteor kill, not going to hit anybody. He's going to be knocked up, and the Enlightenment blows him up, and Tempest will take out Black. And it looks like Black is the only one to have fallen.
Yeah, Megumi as well as Shaolin was pretty low, but they weren't able to dive any deeper behind the tower. So Impunity has to be grateful that they didn't lose anymore. That would have caused probably an uncontrollable snowball there for the side of Loops, but still not a good position they want to find themselves in. 1.5k down in 5 minutes in, and Loops still seems to have their number in terms of these movements across the map.
Yeah, they definitely have their number. They're already starting to slowly whittle away at them as they've kind of grown this net worth lead. And look at the map, right? Impunity right now playing scared. They're staying on their side of the river, realizing that, you know, Loops could be anywhere. They could be in the bush. They could be right behind me. I don't even know. Like, they're just everywhere, and they're playing scared, and you see it in their movements.
Absolutely. It's been... This is what we're talking about in game number 1, is the mistakes of your first game is making you doubt yourself in the last game potentially. So if you're not able to reset from that, then it might affect your decision making in the games and really cause issues for you. But Shaolin, if you get the bottom tier 1 tower, the cheeky play that you can do with some of the marksman heroes to really just poke the tower until it falls. But it still keeps Impunity here in the game. Here comes the Maisha Nui trying to go for a kill. Angela pops the ultimate to try to play a bit more defensively. Oh, but the knockback by Dharma.
He gets him. Finds Sherry. He's going to be down. He's going to look to back off. So the Unbridled Outburst is going to be used. The Unruly Blade keeps ABH alive. And they do get that pick off, and that's a pretty big win for Impunity as they got Sherry down for another 10 seconds.
Yeah. Arlie cannot be initiated on if she hasn't set up the parasol. He's just not very survivable if it's caught out like that. So gotta look out a little bit more for positioning, but all in all, not the worst things to happen this early on. It's not gonna amount to too much. It's just the Vanguard, the Overlord Vanguard falling towards the Southern Infinity, which allows Infinity to cut down the lead slightly, but Loops still in the driver's seats for now.
Still in the driver's seat, and it's just more of like the objectives and the towers that have been taken out by Loops, right? They've just kind of forced the issue of playing, again, Impunity just sticking far behind. They're trying to make some plays. They are getting some kills. They're getting themselves back into this. But again, it's more of Loops just playing very strategic.
Yep, they absolutely have. They've been their aggression has been calculated, and they've been able to stop stop crucial heroes from getting the front buff here. Bottom lane.
Oh, meteor kill. He's just gonna go right for this death at sunset all the way in the bottom lane. Kank just trying to stay alive, but X0 blazing brilliance. That's gonna be aborted. The dream rope is not gonna hit him. Xiaolin is down for the count already. Megumi runs over the wall, and it looks like X0 on the run as well. And ABH all the way in the front. He wants more. He finds Megumi. He's going to go for this one. Kank actually finds Black as well. The Dream Bubble pushing him out. But Sherry will take that mid T1, and they've capitalized off of that kill.
Yep, good engagement there from Loops. They really split up the fights. Everybody was kind of in a small skirmish, and a lane absolutely just feasted on Xiaolin, who cannot get away after using up the flash. So getting the mid tier 1 tower absolutely huge as well for the side of Loops to be able to control your enemy's jungle. And with the bottom, with the Tyrant spawning in a few more seconds, everybody needs to go back and regen to be in a good position for the next upcoming fight.
Yeah, the next one's going to be pretty huge. I mean, if we're looking at this one, the replay of what happened, nice meteor kill, knocking him up. They go in for this one. Tempest uses the death at sunset, keeping himself alive, and it looks like he's chasing after, gets another beautiful meteor kill, ensures that he gets Xiaolin, which is the biggest win for all of that. And then now they're trying to look to start this Tyrant here.
Yep, this is going to give them a much bigger lead. Oh, but they catch out Asing. Is he in trouble? He did have to use the flicker, the flash to get out of there. Oh,
the unruly blade connects. Dream Realm, just backs off. Loops are going to just back off, and they're going to look to take a free Tyrant. They push them away. They forced Impunity back, and Impunity, all they can do is just cry home and just, watch as that Tyrant gets taken here.
Again, another good engagement. They didn't get any kills there for the side of Loops, but they were able to push them back, secure the Tyrant. Now they can regen and really defend this Shadow, this
Enlightenment!
Oh.
Asing gives him the truth, throws it down, blows him up. Sherry was like, what just happened?
Yeah, these are the kind of stops that, Impunity needs to do to try and get themselves back in the game. But meanwhile, in the bottom lane, it's going to be the lane pushing all the way down to the tier 2 tower. It will fall. Asing trying to do the same in towards the top, but that's just the tier 1. That also means he's not going to be there for the fight that's about to happen towards the mid lane, unless he rotates, starts rotating in.
Dream Roam right onto Kank. Kank dashes away. Hits a Megumi. Tries to go for the Forbidden Domain. The Unbridled Outburst is going to be used to just zone them away. The Death at Sunset. He's going to commit for this one. He goes in. He might have gone too deep. He's got the Death at Sunset. He gets himself out. The meteor kill, but he's going to be forced, and he gets killed. Asing will take him down and ensures that he gets it. This monk is scary and violent. The Blazing Brilliance, more zoning him away, and it looks like Impunity are going to back off here. They might take the Tyrant. No, Megumi just dashes up the wall.
Arlie did so much damage, but she wasn't able to fully...
I was muted the whole time.
Yeah, I told you you're muted.
Oh my god, I didn't know I was muted. I was talking the whole time, dude.
I was saying that you're muted, but...
They didn't have any views compared
Yeah, I never hear,
to...
bro. Oh, Asing gets 5 already. Asing is popping off today, man. In this game, on the Dharma specifically.
Another pick-off play.
Oh, ABH going in, knocking up only Megumi though. Asing going for more, getting a bit greedy there. Zero taken very low though.
No, but
taking it to the house and taking out ABH.
Oh no!
Asing will fall. Sherry gets the outplay. He did have the
Black and Xiaolin just fall. Tempest also Rock, I think I'm behind.
And Black now being focused, and Tempest will take out the cutest
11-15 bro. 17.
It's just 4 second difference.
There for the side of Impunity.
I tried to fast forward already, but I don't know why mine
can know that the lane is respawning and coming back towards
using
the fight,
Twitch,
and that set up Tempest for a huge double kill.
I can't use Twitch because got ads.
Brings the lead back to 3,000.
Yours got ads?
Also, Asing almost was the same for that engagement again, but
YouTube also got ads sometimes.
Was just able to survive with the skin of its teeth, and
well.
was just able to get that shutdown on towards Asing.
Like when I go to your stream, right, it just killed me.
Like, hey, we need to focus.
First thing I go in,
we need to focus on this next hero. They would have a much better time. Right now, it seems like there's a lot of isolated fights, and yeah, Asing is able to make a couple plays and supposed to get some pickoffs, but it will really help them.
Oh no, but Xiaolin like getting targeted, yeah, by this
alien. It makes it a very difficult team fight.
Yeah lah, I know, but it's like kind of shack though for him. He can't do much.
Your hero is much easier. That means that it will be a
Megumi stuns too. But it's such a missed time, and then Zeri with the frenzy burst him down. Tempest outing, and he gets it out again. Will he use it? No, he won't. He leaves.
Sorry, the Unbridled Outburst, but the Death Roll Black, he's going to be in a bad spot as well. He's going to be picked off.
Yeah, I also
all
think
5
that's
members of Loops still
Unless
alive.
unless Asi can somehow 1v5 lah.
It's looking to crash here. They're just starting to
he gets one.
They're starting to push it across.
Wait, he gets one.
Unruly Blade tries to go in for this one. He does end up getting
Tempest a little bit of a misposition here. Gets caught out very low. The shield does save him, but he gets taken down by X-Hero.
He does get the meteor.
Little bit of a blunder by Loops. Unable to end the game there. I think they had the opportunity to.
It's a 2 for 2, and Loops has to go back home limping.
Infinity lives for a little while more.
Half your heroes were down HP. The Leah wasn't able to provide the heals in time, and the creep wave was just dealt very well there by the Angela. So, on hindsight, not the best fights to take.
Unfortunately though, Overlord does goes over to the side of Loops, but the goal lead is not that big of a difference actually. It's only about 4,000, which is not too bad considering the last 2 games.
On everybody, and you're probably gonna win.
Yeah, and this
oh, good catch from X-Hero!
Right?
Asi going in, go very low, he gets one more.
Oh, he does have the alignment, does end up doing the damage, and Cake is going to be killed as well, and Shaolin is starting to turn it up. He's starting to have the damage with the death that's on that. He's looking to go for X-Hero. Is he able to kill him? He's continuing to focus on him. X-Hero does go down. They're turning those around the flashback.
3 before he falls. Can Black survive?
In return.
No, he won't. He gets taken down and busted by Tempest.
1 versus 2.
It's gonna be 15 seconds for us. The game will not end. Only Tempest and Mithy alive for the side of Loops. Oh, the ulti was
Alright, I'm out of here.
The ulti of the ABH.
No, so basically, right.
No. I was talking about the ABH because X-Hero stunned him, then ulted him.
Is selling that ulti start. Then X-Hero follow up with the start because he can't move already, ma.
Oh yeah, then he's just like a first skill ulti,
yeah.
Somehow,
he was selling ulti.
I thought X-Hero stunned him, bro.
At the start of the fight, but the main damage dealers.
Then also asking a good catch from him, no? Going onto the
did not fall, and they
were
the two that were able to provide most of the damage for the cleanup.
Definitely.
Friends like Megumi,
I don't know what happened today.
No, I'm just kidding. He saved himself. Probably the smarter play. It was going to be very difficult for Black to get out of this.
Our whole team.
But again, Loops forcing it
they're
out.
playing kind of weird.
I think continuing
it's
my
not
point from
about
earlier,
they are playing weird.
Last time their game
they make a lot of
been a
mistakes.
little bit more boring, right? In the sense that they were very
I feel that
like
personally,
they were forcing it out, taking
in
away
my own
space.
opinion,
but Loops felt like they were a little impatient. They forced
we
the
got
bottom
so
T3
badly
and they got
outdrafted by
punished
Loops.
for it.
Oh yeah, that also.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, that was definitely an unnecessary move in my book. Trying to end the game right there and then. If everyone was full HP, I would understand it, but everyone would. Half the members, especially your front lines, ABH was like sitting around with 25% of his health, and that means nobody's gonna be able to frontline for you. Then that means
Right, in the mid lane though, looks to be wanting to take a fight by sinking the top and mid waves. Good sync from them. Infinity now have to decide which one to defend. X-Hero already using his ultimate to try and clear the minions from top side. Asik taken down half HP, already busted down really low. Xiaolin as well, using his ultimate just to run away.
Zoning them away, creating a little bit of space. The top T3 is taken out. They've taken the minion wave as well.
2 inhibitors already fall from Infinity. While Loops have majority of their turrets alive.
Spread out from the rest of his team, tried to go for a fight against 2 heroes, but just took too much damage.
X-Hero?
And unless he gets healed up.
Very taken so low, almost immediately busted down by Zere. Black having the ulti. Asin gets 1, Asin gets 2, Asin gets Zere, Zere falls, Asin does. What a speaker play from him, taking down the marksman for Loops. Wow, Asin.
A lot of damage. Oh, no, it's the Angela that was taking.
Is this his best hero, the Dharma?
1-for-1 trade so
Looks like his best though, based on performance wise.
Things down here for Infinity so far.
True.
He's playing very well on Dharma right now.
30 seconds. That's almost like an eternity at this
Like
stage.
jeez, all his caps like on points, yeah.
Loops still figuring out ways to just
Honestly,
make all the
right,
objectives.
my
His net
opinion
worth,
of
yeah, it's only
Asin,
4K. I mean, kind of getting to the point where everybody's kind of
based on how I
at
see
this point.
him playing,
Not
so
the
many,
worst
so
thing in
many
the
times,
world,
right?
but
I don't
again,
know why
Impunity
he's
need to figure out some
flash
way to get
laner.
some sort of pick off. Turn a
He should be
fight
playing what?
from a 5-5 to a 5
My
score. You have that
opinion
advantage.
is he should be
and this
playing
Overlord's going to
jungle.
be pretty massive in terms of just how
Because mechanic. Oh, X0! Catching Tempest! Holy shit!
does have the damage and Tempest.
Okay, sorry, what were you saying?
Down.
You be jungle?
That might have been
Why?
a window of
You see
opportunity.
Mechanic,
his flank, all
That's
these.
an absolutely huge kill. That's the
Oh,
second
yeah.
strongest
Okay.
hero on the side of Luke's
But maybe he
already
can do
down.
that only when he has,
Done
because
his
it's
thing,
flicker ma.
meat shield,
They can make all this kind of
and
play. Maybe that's why he prefer it all.
He's the utility hero
Based
for
on what I
now.
know, he can
They
lamp
really
all
need
these.
the lane to be the ones threatening the backlines, but
Then what ma zai liao.
dangerous
That's right.
situation right now for Loops. They
Like,
will lose.
I do watch
their
his live
Overlord,
stream
and
and
the
all.
creep waves are going to be fixed.
He
here
used
from
Lam,
Impunity.
he
That
used
gives
all those other
Impunity a
junglers.
shot back in
I
this
don't know
game
why
and in this series.
he's a flash
It's
laner.
all about opportunities. Being able to just
Wasted-
have
you
that
think it's wasted
potential
or
to
no?
get back in is
Well,
a
there
huge
could be
issue
another
for Loops.
possibility
Again,
that
the
he's
last
not
game a little bit more
comfortable.
boring because there
He's
were no
not,
opportunities. They were
disciplined.
playing much cleaner. We're seeing a
Oh,
more
yeah.
That's why
impatient
he's not
Loops
a
team.
jungler.
That's why he's flashing
force things
laner,
out.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, they have the advantage, and I'm sure that they were
True.
like, hey, we just wanted to try
Maybe,
to close
maybe.
this out as soon as possible. But Impunity, this is the never say die attitude that they have. They're going to fight this one all the way to the end.
X0 playing well Angela though, compared to his other supportive mages like Frost.
Are potentially playing that
Oh, legit, bro. No, legit.
I
he
don't
actually
know. I
doing
just
well.
feel like
If they lose you, they're out,
he
and
may
that's
not
why
be
they are,
suitable for
taking
Frost.
risk.
supportive mid.
That's why they
Yeah, I mean he played top, right?
Their backs are against the wall.
He was
They have
mid
nothing
lane
to
in.
lose.
I mean, yeah, no.
2022.
Oh my god, Asing again!
A team like
With
that,
the flicker catch!
you might be
What a good
punished.
engage on the tank!
Burst it down.
Sun- Tempest is the next one to fall, Asing.
They do have this. The death of
Falls,
Tempest,
that's the important. He
Tempest
popped though.
is trying to fight
That's
one versus
engaged
three,
on,
gets
he
the
will
meteor
eventually
kill on
fall.
the shell,
Tempest
and
that's
he's
gonna
trying
out
to focus
again.
out. That's
Using
life
it,
number
and it's
one.
not
He's
a
gonna
good
come
fight for
back.
Impunity.
Asing is
Looks
down.
has somehow
Gets
turned
the
this
sunset one
around
more
with
time, landed, and Black goes
and
down
it looks
this
like a
time. And it looks like they
GG.
turned
X0
this
only
around.
one
Loops have found the
alive
opening, and Magooby's
right now.
been killed, and
It was
Tempest
such a
will
good
take
catch from
that double
Asing,
kill.
but the team
X0
just
now
could not
running for his life,
follow
trying
up.
to keep things
No, he
alive.
was not a
Slow
good
it
catch
down.
from
Give
Asing.
yourself a chance.
Really? He caught
because it's
what? He caught the
30
mid
more
shot?
seconds for the rest of the team.
At this point
Loops,
in
on the other
time,
hand, they want to
mine
take
is
this
not
one.
the priority.
You talked about the impatience.
Oh, it's
before.
the-
This is that opening.
The
They're ahead
AD.
of the minion wave.
Be it
X0 is going to
AD
miss a
or
couple
even,
times. The meteor kill knocks him up.
Early.
The blazing
early.
brilliance one last time. X0 is down, and
And
with
Loops
that
will
will be
3-0.
the game. And Loops will move on to the
Impunity.
semifinals as they take game 3.
Unfortunate for Impunity.
Tempest. That play absolutely huge. Goes straight towards the backline. Gets the kill on towards the DNJ. Removes
GG Impunity, guys.
Of what
Asing did play quite. He did play well in the last game.
Yeah.
I won't lie. It's just that last play maybe a bit of a wrong target. It was still a good catch, but not the right target.
Sure, it got a bit
Yep.
messy at the end, but they still got it done.
Okay, sorry, what were you saying before Asing made the flicker play?
So they can make it the most interesting game.
You're talking about X0,
We'll
right?
give him a chance. We'll let Impunity
To
just have
support
some
Mitch
fun
or
in
something.
this.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
all jokes aside, we'll figure out
Just
what
feel like
they
he's not
what they were
perfectly
really
as well.
thinking. I know Choo Choo's gonna
I
have
mean,
some questions for them
maybe
as
it's
they
because
go
of
into
the
interview coming up. But
Clash.
in his second,
Because he played Clash
interview,
laner
one last
before he
shake,
played
you know,
mid, right?
sportsmanship.
No,
before this,
even if you
before
are
this,
playing
before this,
Great one,
before this.
and it's gonna
Yeah,
be a
I
great
know, but
series
what
for them.
I mean
But
is
again,
like you
let's
compare
find
with
out what Choo Choo
qualifiers.
has to say with Loops here.
His mid and now is like very, I don't know,
Different.
problematic, like weaker,
Welcome
significantly
back
weaker.
with me on live on stage here with your host
Significantly
squad in
weaker.
charge of the
Yeah.
event, Choo Choo, and joining me in
Lack of practice, you mean? Maybe lack of practice.
with our
Don't know,
with
but
our
I
winner
would
of the
say
last series during the knockout stage,
maybe
Loops
draft
from
issue
Brazil.
bar. I would still go
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
the draft issue.
Okay, we're gonna start off.
Check, there's
this
a lot of
with,
issues
I think, is it Sarah?
that we don't know. Could be draft, could be gameplay in general, but you'll never know, guys.
Zeri.
Okay, I'm at my stream. There's a
Okay.
very fast
We're getting
stream
that
today,
clear.
3 hour
Okay,
only.
it's
The game all very
Now
fast.
it actually Zeri,
Or
but
3-0.
it's Zeri, but
3-0,
Zeri.
3-0, 3-0,
Now,
yeah.
with that
It's just
on,
2 3
he
0s
also
and no
played
worries.
the carry. He plays a
Like
hero
them.
already just now.
Yeah, it
Why
was
is
fast
it
today,
so
okay, guys.
difficult for
Yeah,
them to
definitely.
close that that last game? What went wrong?
Jogou aí com o Audi, né? Por que foi tão difícil finalizar essa última partida? Qual foi a complicação?
Porque o boneco do cara é muito roubado e ele não me deixa ficar vivo. Ele me vê na tela e me mata. O Dharma. Porque o boneco do cara é muito roubado, se ele me vê na tela ele me mata. Por isso foi difícil.
It was very tricky because they kept taking our spots, so it was just hard for us to get there.
Yeah, I can see nobody actually picking Axe Hero at the back. He keeps on giving all those ultimate easily for you guys. But speaking of the next one, I'm going to give it to Mithy. Okay, Mithy, just next to you. Okay, Mithy, we've seen you the first game as the MVP. We don't get a lot of MVP for the support. Now, for all the players of the support playing support role out there, do you have any specific heroes you love to play as a support? And what are the tips and tricks you can tell all the new players out there as that hero?
Você foi o meu MVP na primeira partida, né, com a suporte. Eles querem saber que heróis você gosta de usar aí no suporte e que dica pode dar para os jogadores que querem jogar no suporte.
Bom, o Zhangfei é um dos que eu mais gosto de usar. Moze também. E Dolha também é um suporte que eu gosto de usar bastante. É um suporte agressivo. E para o pessoal que está começando agora, eu indico esses suportes mais fáceis de jogar, Moze, a Dolha também. E roubar bastante a jungle do inimigo, que vai ajudar bastante no jogo. Jogar bastante do lado do ADC, ajudar bastante ele crescer, para você ter alguém que dê dano durante a partida. Isso aí é o essencial.
I like to use Zenge and Dolha. I love to use those. I think they're really useful for any beginners who, if they want to focus on this, you just have to continue trying up. Make sure you have support so that you can keep expanding and improving your game.
Now that's going to be a hero Dolia for the supports out there if you want to be as good as the pros. Now we're going to shift it over to Abehaga, the captain himself. Yeah, Abehaga. ABH or Abehaga. Now, Abehaga, for the next team that you will have to fight against, it's either LGD or AG. Which one will be your pick and why?
Próxima partida vai ser contra o AG ou LGD? Qual que você quer enfrentar na próxima e por quê?
A gente não tem preferência. Acho que qualquer um que vai vir, a gente vai jogar pra cima, a gente vai amassar qualquer um que vir. Então, não tem que escolher adversário não. A gente só tem que dar o nosso máximo.
We have no preference. We don't choose our opponents. We'll take whatever comes our way and we'll give our best.
Oh wow, they don't really care, LGD or AG, who knows? They will have to fight against London Loops for the next contender. Last but not least, as the captain yourself and represent the entirety of Loop, what do you have to say for the fans, all the Brazilian fans, even all the other fans across the entire world, for your, show them a bit of your support as well?
Uma mensagem aí para os fãs do mundo inteiro, brasileiros e no mundo inteiro.
Acho que a mensagem que eu posso deixar para eles, eu acho que agradecer muito a torcida deles. Acho que hoje também é um dia que a gente jogou mais tarde no Brasil, 9 da manhã. Acho que teve muito mais brasileiro assistindo a gente. Agradecer todo esse carinho, quem faz o esforço de acordar cedo para assistir a gente, que a gente está dando o nosso melhor aqui. E com certeza a gente está trazendo esse resultado que todo brasileiro espera, que é trazendo as vitórias.
We have to thank them, of course, all the time to thank them for the support. Today was a day that we play a little later, so it was a little easier on the time zone for more people to be able to watch us. But we wanted to thank you, and we look forward to keep making everybody proud.
Yeah, it's going to be that coming out from Team Loops of Brazil. And it's going to be good morning for the side of Brazil, possibly. But we're going to wrap things up and toss it back to the caster. Thank you, guys.
It's always great to hear the thoughts of these pro players, especially, after a very convincing victory. I mean, first 2 games, we literally had nothing bad to talk about them, even if we tried. Then game number 3, they decided, hey, let's give these casters something to talk about in game number 3.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, just impatience, just trying to close it out. I mean, they had a lot of room. I mean, when you have that 2-0 lead, it's one of those things where, we can kind of, play a little bit riskier. Yeah, we can mess around and have some fun with it just going into this one. Because you have, again, that 2-game lead, which is pretty sizable. So congratulations to Loops. They're going to move on. And it's going to be interesting to see who they have lined up. Again, we'll find out after tomorrow's matches, because that's going to be the next part of that bracket to see exactly who's going to move on. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's they don't have, all these players, all these teams left in this tournament are, very strong, and there's not going to be any easy opponents here. Game number 3 stats. Oof, Tempest with that 10-3-5s, absolutely a beast on the lane.
Yeah.
Anything else that really stands out to you? Mithy with 0 deaths.
Mithy. 0-19. We expect that of Mithy, right? The Dahlia was his, the cooldown reduction, just everything that was potentially there. It helped, Tempest get in and out, had 2 deaths at Sunsets, twice in 1 team fight. It was just absolutely crazy. Mithy, again, look at this. The 10K net worth, right? it
On
pretty much
support.
ties Kank, yeah, on support. And if we're looking at the other side, he had more than Black did as the jungler, right? So not to make, to point him out, but it's a problem when your jungler and your roamer are getting the same net worth.
Absolutely. Actually, Black is the lowest net worth on his entire team, even lower than his support himself. But that's Smenky for you. He does fall off towards the late game, doesn't really do much, like no damage, a bit of slows, a bit of tanking the damage himself, but ultimately he doesn't really bring much to the table towards the late game.
Yeah, he needs like the perfect setups, like for the Dream Roams to just kind of connect right into it. I think that they really, again, were very defensive and reactive to what Loops were doing. I felt like they needed a different set of stuns. Ashing, again, was trying to do as much as possible, trying to carry the team at times, getting some good pickoffs, because Loops are somewhat squishier, so he was making plays, but again, it seemed like they weren't really all on the same page, focusing the right heroes when they needed to have.
Yeah, it's just, different, like, players having different thoughts or have different ideas of how to take those engagements, causing that disconnect, that dissonance between both these, all of the players in a sort of impunity. But hey, I'm happy to see that Angela actually wasn't that bad of a pick.
It was bad. Okay, it did some damage, but again, I don't think it was like the biggest impact. It was better than I expected. I'm gonna give you that, but I still felt like as a last pick, not the most ideal of last picks to go with. But again, this gold graph completely in favor of Loops, right? They did have that throw midway. You see a little bit of a dip here and there, but just a little bit of impatience, and they need to kind of clean those things up, especially if they want to move further in this tournament.
Yeah, definitely. It probably was just them seeing the victory, but also not really thinking about losing, because like you said, they have a lot of room for error, and even if they lost that fight, they can always come back in later stages of that game or even the next game themselves. So ultimately, a win is a win for the side of Loops. 3-0. It's a sweep just like the first series of the day, and the MVP of this game, no doubt, it's going to be Tempest on the lane.
Yeah, just so much impact all throughout, forcing it out, making things just super uncomfortable for Shaolin to kind of get anything going. I mean, this is the power of the lane, right? Mm-hmm. Just Death at Sunset wherever you want, plus you have the Dahlia to kind of just round you up again one more time. Just tough situation, and Tempest playing it to the T. Like, this is exactly what you want out of your Clash laner. Just being able to do damage and to just put a lot of pressure on the enemy team.
Yeah, lane is basically the better Lubu at this